Harnish posted The Fall of H3, in which she makes some very interesting claims.
It's because, hey guys, this is an easy target, and it was just the least easy target ever.
Someone sent Ethan Klein human skulls, or Ethan Klein sent himself human skulls.
You're going halfway between f***ing crazy and normal.
Implying that the Kleins are pedophiles because their clothing brand has a teddy bear on it.
Hila dresses kind of childlike.
We've embraced conspiracy, which means she's not a particularly critically thinking, capable individual.
You know that accusing a person with 3 small children of being a pedophile and a drug addict is inherently more loaded.
Her insinuating that they're pedophiles partially backs this idea that it was justifiable to call CPS. Isn't that
interesting?
Harnish was making this video essay about Gabby Hannah. How many Gabby Hannah videos are actually cited? 4.
I'm telling you, it's the easy slam dunk Reddit research. Hey, nobody really likes this person, so I don't really have to care about being thoughtful. I fucking called it from the start. This was not going to be the first time she got research wrong, but nobody cared. All right, guys, this looks interesting. This is the thumbnail. This looks interesting. Right in our realm of I can recognize all these characters. We have Ethan Klein. We have the guy who got upset with Ethan Klein and made a terrible video and then stopped. We got the guy that did Jake Paul, Wrestler Man. We got Sabrina something where she was crying. You know, about being upset. From what I remember, I think it was valid. I don't remember the specifics. Nick is not green. You know, I actually like Nick is not green. Nicholas is not green, please. You know, he made a little bit of a mistake going after the whole whatever they were called, CM Punk. You know what I'm talking about. Somebody say it, and I'll correct myself. But I think he made a turnaround. He was defending too much of like what was it, Ethan is online or whatever. Gabby Hannah, gotta love it. I think she's married now. And then you have Cruel World, Happy Mind. Beautiful. So it's right in our wheelhouse, but it also looks kind of interesting. It's YouTube's moralistic bullying and journalistic integrity from somebody called Doll's Cemetery. It looks pretty interesting. So let's get this going. Super mega. That's it. I don't know why I said CM Punk. Anyway, I closed the video on accident. Let's just get it going. Hey guys, if you're seeing this, my editor had to jam this into the middle of the video in an incredibly jarring way because I forgot to plug my Papa Gut Leftovers channel with some great hits like The DoorDash Girl Just Went to Court, or It's Time to Boycott Coke. And somewhere in here is me with my shirt off. So talking about the Boy Scouts. There you go. You'll love that. So go take a look if you like shorter form content. All right.
All right, who's ready to hear about one of my favorite commentary YouTube stories? On October 22nd, 2021, Sabrina Rios,
I like the energy. Let's just get right into it.
Who publicly goes by Abelina Sabrina, accused her ex, Gus Johnson, of emotionally abusing her while she had been recovering from an ectopic pregnancy that had nearly killed her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think it was like valid, but he wasn't like, I don't know if he was abusing her, but he was super inconsiderate. He was a piece of shit. It was pretty terrible stuff.
Basically, she discovered she was pregnant with his child and had moved to terminate the pregnancy, but her complaints of pain...
Did she move to terminate it? I thought that she didn't move to terminate it, but it was an ectopic pregnancy, so it kind of terminated itself. I mean, I honestly am very rusty on it, so I could be wrong about that.
Pain were met with skepticism by both Johnson and her doctors. Eventually, her left fallopian tube burst, leading her to need emergency surgery. When she called Johnson from the hospital, he declined to come visit her because he was out drinking with friends. Damn.
What a dickhead, you know?
She was recovering from this near-death experience. Johnson did not show a lot.
See, I know that like if my wife had to go to the hospital, I would definitely be there because I probably put her there. I'm just kidding. That's just a joke about how sometimes she burns my dinner, and it's okay. We've gotten through it.
Lot of sympathy and would often accuse her of exaggerating her symptoms, even telling her at one point that anyone else would have left her. Johnson
that's pretty rude.
Went silent on social media, and then on December 3rd came out with a video entitled "The Kid in Gym Class Who Always Asked for an Ice Pack."
That's probably the way to deal with it if you're a fucking asshole boyfriend. You know? Just don't even talk about it at a certain point. What do you say? Yeah, man, I was a real piece of shit. That's what I would say. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've been a piece of shit before, too. Granted, the people I was with were also pieces of shit. I think that we're all kind of feeding off each other's energy. Yeah, man. What are you supposed to say? Like, yeah, sorry. So fucking, you know, I'm a little better now. I have a good wife, and she keeps me stable, so.
Making fun of a hypothetical child who over-exaggerates an injury for sympathy. Given what Rios had said, it wasn't difficult to think that he might have been taking a shot at her.
Damn. Bad optics, brother. Bad optics.
Okay, I think it feels a little bit better. I should be able to reach it. Ow! Crap! Now I gotta milk this one for the next month.
For what it's worth.
Damn, that does sound a little sussy.
Johnson insists that this is not the case.
I don't know. That's bad optics at the very least.
In my opinion, he is either lying or stupid.
That is literally the only two options, yeah.
Commentary YouTuber Duncan Castner evidently
Yeah, this guy made an Ethan Klein video. Woo, we need more of those, guys.
Agreed with me, as seen in his video, the Gus Johnson comeback campaign. Castner also covered another skit made by Johnson's younger brother, Sven. Basically, the skit is about a guy going through a serious medical emergency, only for the punchline to be that it's just a case of the Mondays. Dumb but harmless, right? No, according to Castner. Castner accused Johnson of making the video to mock Rios, citing Johnson's use of internal bleeding as one of his symptoms, which was also a symptom Rios had experienced.
But he specifically says bleeding internally, which is one of the main symptoms that could have killed Sabrina during her medical emergency.
Doctors ain't shit, am I right, guys? Doctors do not listen to women, you know?
So hearing Sven...
The original manosphere.
...say that, I don't know. It's not good. But again, there is plausible deniability. Again...
Well, yeah, I mean, that would be kind of the point of the joke, right? It's little dog whistling. Maybe we're all just a little too woke, dude. You know?
It could be just an unfortunate coincidence. But the video goes on.
911, what's your emergency?
Hi, my friend just passed out. He's on the floor right now. What should I do?
Does your friend have any medical conditions?
I don't know. Well, he was talking about how he had some internal bleeding. I think he mentioned like an ulcer, vomiting blood, maybe?
Oh, sounds like he's got a case of the Mondays.
I'm going to play this clip of the voice on the phone again, and I want you to see if it sounds familiar.
911, what's your emergency? Oh, sounds like he's got a case of the Mondays.
What am I missing here? Is that Gus or something?
I have replayed that audio over and over for myself and with people who are familiar with Gus's content, and we can all agree that that sounds exactly like Gus.
Shit, I guess. I don't really know too much about Gus. I mean, I guess it sounds like him. I'm going to take your word for it, brother.
This paired up with the constant references to internal bleeding make this video almost inseparable from the situation that's going on.
I mean, if that is true, man, doubling down on that joke sounds pretty toxic.
This video strangely seems to be like the other, where it's trying to subtly comment on the situation somehow, but it's not being explicit, and it's really unclear about what exactly is the message of these. So why? Either Gus asked Sven to make this and he just said yes, or Sven made this video on his own without Gus and it's eerily similar, or Sven and Gus both worked together to make this video and add to their version of the story. I don't know. Either way does not make any sense to me.
Maybe the reason why it doesn't make sense.
It's like weirdly bad optics. Like, not only did he fucking make a video about fucking internal bleeding and downplaying somebody's shit after he was just accused by his ex-girlfriend, but he's gonna double down on it, just like really prod it. Like, you must be, how much of a dick do you have to be? You'd think that you'd have some fucking optics on that one. You'd be like, you know what? This one's not particularly good. But then he apologized later, and it kind of makes your apology come off as performative when you pull some shit like that.
Is because you're fucking insane. I'm gonna be so honest with you guys. Is it technically plausible that Sven Johnson's video was a deliberate dig?
Maybe, yeah, kinda. If that is Gus Johnson, yeah, I think that is an intentional dig, dude. I think it's an intentional dig. You know, maybe I'm just too fucking woke-brained, though.
Sure. But I think it's far more likely that internal bleeding is just widely recognized to be a very serious medical symptom.
And it is a symptom of the Mondays, I guess.
And it adds to the comedic absurdity of the skit for such a severe symptom to be shrugged off as just a case of the Mondays.
That's possible, too. Anything is possible. I don't know, man. If it's Gus Johnson, I think maybe he's digging in a little bit, but...
And even if I did think that it was weird, I wouldn't...
That is true, Mr. Guy. Remember, if you look for something hard enough, you'll find it, even if it's not there. That's true. I mean, personally, I wouldn't have made a video about it explicitly, but it does sound like it. I'd be like, that's a little curious. You know, does it deserve or warrant an entire video talking about it? Probably not. But it is interesting.
Publicly accuse him of mocking a woman's near-death experience. It's okay to keep things in the group chat sometimes, Duncan. Castner also said this.
We can't act like what Gus did to Sabrina can simply be fixed by him growing.
I mean, I don't think it's simple at all. I mean, I think that, like, what did he do? He was like, I would say he was like is the word negligent too strong? He was like a negligent partner. He was an inconsiderate, shitty partner that didn't care about his girlfriend's shit. To his, I mean, you know, in his defense, you could say that if the doctor was also not caring, then maybe he was just listening to the doctor. But I do think that you can grow from being an inconsiderate piece of shit. Like, like you can grow for that. That's like one of the problems here. Like, you know, it sounds like, you know, he has this theory that Gus was the voice in that, which, you know, may be solid theory, and it would contribute to maybe him being a dickhead. But this idea that you can't grow from that, I mean, it's not good to be inconsiderate, but like you can grow from that. But again, especially if the doctor's saying it's not a big deal. I mean, like, the doctor is kind of the one that's supposed to be smart. So if you're listening to the doctor, I can kind of see why he'd be like, oh, don't worry, it's not a big deal. I would say, you know, my thing is, if you trust and respect your partner, then when they tell you something's wrong, you should trust yourself enough that you chose somebody that you can trust enough to take their word for it and advocate on their behalf because of it. You know, even if you got to get a little mouthy with your doctor. That's what I would say. But
either publicly or privately, this is something that requires forgiveness from the person involved. So
I don't know what that means.
Sabrina, who does not seem to want to forgive Gus.
Damn, dude, you can't fucking move on from anything.
Seems like this guy really values her opinion. Sure hope that doesn't change.
Oh shit, does he hate her later?
Castner's insinuation
to be honest with you, I don't value her opinion because she is a woman. So I'm just kidding, guys. I love women.
Resulted in Sven Johnson receiving a lot of harassment, which Johnson addressed in a Twitter
His name is Sven?
video. Rio stepped in and said this.
Ew, what the fuck?
Go check out Sven's newest sketch and leave a nice comment. There have been some people who have been sending hateful comments his way as a way to try to defend me somehow, and they are not. I do not want that. Please continue to support him.
That's so beautiful, Queen.
While Castner was nice enough to link to Johnson's video in a community post and in an update video, he did not feel the need to mention what Rios had said. He also, notably, did not apologize to Johnson.
I do want to trust Sven's word that this was just an unfortunate coincidence, but either way, I think it's good that that video was taken down so you can't accidentally interpret it a different way.
Oh, why did he take it down? Well, I guess maybe it was actually bad. Or maybe he just folded to public pressure. I don't know, dude.
So the way that Rios talks about Gus Johnson is enough for you to write him off as completely irredeemable. But the way that Rios talks about Sven Johnson isn't enough for you to take him at his word. Do you not think that Rios can tell when she's being made fun of? In the years...
This is the first time I've ever heard somebody reference Sabrina as Rios. I have to re-listen to that because I'm like, who the fuck is Rios? Is this a new character?
It's about Gus Johnson.
Accidentally interpret it a different way.
So the way that Rios talks about Gus Johnson is enough for you to write him off as completely irredeemable.
Okay.
But the way that Rios talks about Sven Johnson isn't enough for you to take him at his word.
Gotcha. Yeah. I didn't know Abelina Sabria's last name was Rios. I'm sitting here thinking of Essay Rios. You guys are wrestling. I'm confused. Okay, this makes sense. Well, yeah, it sounds like Duncan wants to virtue signal. That seems to be the primary objective here. So he's just looking for anything that'll support whatever he wants to do.
Do you not think that Rios can tell when she's being made fun of? In the years,
I don't think he's making fun of her. I think he's just using her as a talking point.
Since this happened, I've heard a lot of people try to defend Castner by saying, well, Sven has gone on to collaborate with Gus, and I need to...
Well, I mean, why wouldn't he? Like, I don't understand. Like, you know, if there's got to be an expiration date for for being a shitty partner. You know what I mean? He didn't beat her or abuse her. He was just neglectful. That's the word I was looking for. Neglectful. He was like a neglectful piece of shit. Like, he was an asshole. He was inconsiderate. You know, it's unfortunate and bad, but...
To make it abundantly clear that my point is not that Sven Johnson is a perfect angel who's never done anything wrong in his entire life. My point is that in December of 2021, Castner did not have enough information to make such a loaded claim. And I find the fact that he didn't seem to think that Rio's opinion mattered at all really Really weird. While I was writing this script, I actually went back and rewatched Rios' original video about her ectopic pregnancy, and I was reminded of the fact that a very large part of her trauma had revolved around the idea of choice being taken away from her. She specifically says, "It feels like my body, my choice never got to apply here."
I mean, that makes sense considering she had an ectopic pregnancy. You kind of don't get to choose there.
And given that aspect,
I guess you could choose to die, but that's not good. You shouldn't do that.
Can't help but feel like Castner's performativity surrounding the matter was less so motivated by a genuine desire to support Rios so much as it was motivated by a desire to publicly condemn Gus Johnson and anyone who chose to associate with him.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, I don't really know Duncan too much. I just saw that he was like on the Ethan Klein, virtue signal. The whole like he's a horrible Zionist guy, whatever. Ethan's just a Jewish guy that thinks Israel is chill, but the government's genocidal, right? So I think that's a pretty normal take. But again, like this happens all the time, where somebody, and I would almost guarantee Duncan had like a slam Duncan on something. Somebody was a bad piece of shit asshole. He made a video. He got a lot of positive attention for it. Especially from people who are sitting there kind of like constantly engaging. It's like, oh, this person's the super bad guy, and he's talking about the super bad guy. I like that, so everybody's watching the same video from 18 different people, and then after that you're kind of trying to manufacture somebody to be as bad as somebody else, and so you're like, hey, look what he did. And what he did was bad. It was wrong as a partner, but it's not something that like I'm how far do you go? How far do you shit? How long do you shit your pants for, right? But you're kind of looking to just maintain that energy, man. You're looking to keep that energy up so that you can be a good guy. And so sometimes you're looking for something. You're looking for somebody to be as bad as the original sin that you had gotten. People do that shit all the time. It's fucking obnoxious.
And that really doesn't sit well with me. So up until this point, I had been subscribed to Castner, but that whole drama left such a terrible...
Damn, I didn't know people subscribed to that Castner guy. Is that weird to say? Like, what the fuck?
Taste in my mouth that I decided to unsubscribe.
Damn, you got cooked, son.
Like a couple months later, though, I got a little bit curious and I decided to check his Twitter, where I found this hilarious tweet. Having a video leave your audience bubble is so fun because you get lovely comments like these.
Damn, me too, dude. People, but that happens all the time for me. Like my bubble gets like fucking burst all the time.
/ need to fight
the McClung effect.
You. This guy is such a fence sitter. LMAO, I don't think comedy is for you. Oh my god, leave the woman alone, Jesus.
I love these 4 comments that he highlighted because there are no likes on them. And it's always so weird to me that people will like respond to like there's no comments, man. Like there's no comments. Why are you that pressed about it? You know what I mean? Like just fucking get over it. You know what I mean? It's just stupid. I know it's easier said than done, I guess, but just shut up. Just shut the fuck up. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Okay.
Are you angry because you look like the less attractive male version of Amy Schumer?
It's kind of funny. I'm sorry.
And you know what? I think I'll give that to him. I'd rather be called the C word than compared to Amy Schumer.
Whoa, guys. Amy Schumer's a queen. Stop.
And the final one says, "My friend, I love your videos, but please, for the love of God or whatever, buy a microphone. All the mouth clicks are distracting me from your great commentary."
Okay, that sounds like, I guess, a nice one. I'd still be pissed off about it because, shut the fuck up. But God bless.
So, to review, the guy who publicly accused someone of mocking a woman's near-death experience and then refused to apologize when...
Well, I don't know if he was mocking. Well, I don't know if he was mocking it as much as he was weaponizing it, but...
Said woman said to stand down. The guy who literally criticizes people for a living...
Same. Based?
Can't handle being told to get a better microphone.
It's yeah, sounds about right.
And that's YouTube, folks.
Bro, I can't watch this show anymore, Curb Your Enthusiasm, because that fucking weirdo. RFK's wife is in it, and he plays, I forget what her name is, but he plays, Cheryl Hines plays Larry's wife in the show. Isn't that fucking crazy? Isn't that fucking ridiculous? Holy fuck. MAGA freak.
YouTubers have a problem with selective empathy. That's my thesis. Look,
Not me. I learned empathy when I was like 32.
we all have selective empathy. It's neither a good thing nor a bad thing. We have a limited amount of empathy, and it makes sense to be discerning about where to spend it.
That what people call selective empathy, I guess. When I don't know. I feel like I like to call it true empathy. You know, like it's easy to have empathy for people that you want to have empathy for. It's hard to have empathy for people you don't want to have empathy for. But we all have it. We all have it. You know what I mean? I get it. I have a lack of empathy for certain people nowadays. So
Some people take it a little bit too far, though. This video was not about Duncan Castner, but I do have one more story that I'd like to share.
damn, Duncan's getting dragged in the intro. It's fucking crazy.
In August of 2021, a guy went viral on TikTok after posting a video of himself talking about quitting his job and moving to Los Angeles to sneak backstage of a Logan Paul show and beg Paul for a job, only to get rejected.
Owned.
Paul heard him out, tried to give him some advice, displayed some self-awareness, and was overall pretty nice to him. A lot of people praised
I vaguely remember this.
the way that Paul had responded. Castner took issue with this reading.
There's been a lot of really good videos on YouTube already covering this story in more detail than I am. And
Then so here's I need to have a contrarian perspective. Oh,
I highly recommend the ones I've watched from Moist Critical,
that's beautiful.
Nick is Not Green, and Devin
Wow.
Nash.
Damn, the three kings, only one left. Who the fuck is Devin Nash? I don't know.
These are
Probably somebody really big that I'm just not aware of.
all great videos. I love these people.
That's great.
But all three of them agree and make a note that Logan Paul handled this situation well.
Cool.
And I don't think that's the full story.
Damn, uncovering the full story.
Yes, Logan handled it well in the sense that he didn't freak out and have his security team tase the guy to death.
I would have. I'm just kidding, not to death.
But we can't also pretend like this didn't happen because of Logan Paul's rhetoric.
What is that? What does Logan Paul do? What is his rhetoric?
Both Logan and
But
Jake
he was just hanging around in a forest.
Paul have built entire careers from telling people to chase their dreams, ignore the haters, don't give up, follow your heart, all this vague inspirational stuff.
Holy shit, this is a little too woke for me, boss man. Chase your dreams doesn't mean come harass me backstage. I thought he was going to say something like, oh, he shouldn't have given them any advice at all because now he's encouraging people that want to cross that boundary and like break into a show or whatever to do so because the punishment's going to be some really nice heartfelt advice. That would be like your best argument, I guess, but that wouldn't even make Jake Paul or whatever Paul. I never remember them. That wouldn't make Mr. Paul a bad person. It would just be like, oh, maybe you want to be more aggressive at setting that boundary. What the fuck?
They parade their lavish and crazy lives in their vlogs and tell you that they got it through determination and hard work.
Yeah.
In truth, obviously, it's a little more complicated than that. But that's not news. We all know that. They didn't get their LA super mansions from just having more grit than other people.
This guy's weird. What a weirdo. Get a job.
But that's the narrative that
Same, all right.
sells the best. I think a lot of people who watch these videos believe them, and they want to chase their dreams, which
I mean, like, there is a certain amount of, like, bootstraps pulling up of that will make you more successful. Not necessarily this much more successful, but, you know, trying harder and taking personal accountability for yourself and changing what you can control will always have a better outcome, although maybe not drastically better. So it's always worth it, in my opinion, though.
I think is a good thing. So I don't think it's right to applaud Logan for handling this well without noting that he encouraged this guy to chase his dream, and this just happened to be that dream.
Rich
That's incredible. What a weirdo.
people tell their fans to follow their dreams, Duncan. This guy was an adult. Logan Paul did not hold a gun to his head and force him to ruin his own life.
It would have been cooler if you just was like, dude, if he was like, you're gay, Logan. That would have been funnier.
Castner actually acknowledged like 10 seconds before that most adults can tell that Logan is exaggerating. So I'm not quite sure what point he thinks that he's making.
In truth, obviously,
What was the feedback like for this point? It's so strange.
it's a little
What's boots, Jesse? What's boots with straps? That's a good point, dude. I don't know. What about if I said like a femboy with a strap? But I had the strap. But I'm a boy, so I don't really need a strap. I don't know. The logic is crumbling. You're right. The logic isn't there anymore.
more complicated than that. But that's not news. We all know that. I think a lot of people who watch these
Yeah.
videos believe them.
So I do not find this
I
as
believe that you should chase your dreams. What should you believe instead? That everything's hopeless and you're going to die or something? Like, what do you like? What do you believe in? I don't know. You know, I chase your dreams within reason. Hey guys, maybe don't be afraid to potentially get a job on top of your dreams and be practical. Plan B, am I right?
As egregious as the Sven Johnson example, or egregious at all, really. Castner didn't say anything terribly out of pocket. We just kind of don't agree. This is not a
Well, yeah, it just sounds like he's looking to be kind of unique on this one, you know?
Duncan Castner sucks video. However, I do find his assessment of the situation to be very telling. If I place myself in Paul's shoes for a second, which I don't think Castner did, if a guy comes up to me and says, "Hey, I just quit my job and moved to a new state where I don't know anyone. Please let me come work for you. It is my dream. I don't have anyone to support me."
That's fucking wild.
I'm going to be thinking to myself, hey,
Oh, this guy might kill me. Interesting. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
if I say no, is this guy going to stab me?
Yeah, true. I didn't even think about that. He might.
Because it kind of seems like if I say no, this guy is going to stab me.
I mean, yeah, he has nothing left, I guess. I mean, at least that's a potential perspective. I mean, if he went that crazy, yeah, what if?
Granted, I'm not 6'2", I'm not 220 pounds, I'm not a man, and I'm neither a boxer nor a wrestler, but when I asked my friend, she agreed that Paul had seemed kind of nervous. And why shouldn't he have been? In 2016, Christina Grimmie was murdered by an obsessive fan at a meet and greet.
Damn.
Paul absolutely had reason to think that this might end the same way. And even if he hadn't thought it would end
Fair.
that badly, influencers get assaulted by fans all the time. And given that element, Castner's take does come off as a little bit victim blamey. And
Damn, he didn't consider enough empathy. He had empathy for the crazy guy, no empathy for the Paul. Terrible. How appalling.
I don't think that aspect ever even occurred to Castner, because I don't think that he saw Paul's perspective as one that was worthy of trying to understand.
Well, I just don't understand why make that video in general. Like, what's the point of that? Just make the same. If you, I don't know. It just feels like you're trying to be unique.
He allowed his, for the record, completely justified dislike of Logan Paul to cloud the way that he perceived the situation, and thus cloud the way that he commented on it. It's really, really easy to build people up as villains. Going off of the Sven Johnson example again, in my opinion, Castner got it into his head that Johnson had cruelly mocked a victim of abuse for having a serious medical emergency. Why shouldn't he call Johnson out? And Castner became so convinced of his correctness that he wouldn't listen to anyone else, even Rios herself. Who cares if Johnson
Fucking Rios. How crazy, dude. What a name, you know?
gets harassed? He did something bad. He
True.
deserves it.
Endless harassment for everyone.
You should
What's wrong with being unique? You're right, Will. You're right, Willow. It's a good content strategy to just be so desperate to try to say something new that you you say some dumbass shit. I agree with that. I've also never seen a commentator do that before, to try to be unique. That is one of the commentary traps though for people, is they try so hard to be like unique sometimes and come up with like a different opinion, just so that they feel better. Or that they feel like they're like interesting or cool, then it kind of has like this negative impact on them. You know, you really don't want to get like locked into this trap of like desperately trying to say something different and unique and interesting, and just, you know, it's okay. Sometimes you will, you know, sometimes it's going to happen where you're going to say something they'll stand out. It may not even be something that you realize that's like particularly profound, but you're better off waiting for that moment rather than trying to force that moment, because it's not good for you.
Absolutely care if someone tells me to buy a microphone, though. With this mindset comes the implicit idea that being treated with empathy is a privilege rather
I use a Samsung Q2U. Samsung, not Samsung. I used to say it was a Samsung. It's not. So.
than a right, and that there is something that a person could possibly do that would strip them of that privilege. And to be clear, once you've been stripped of that privilege, there is nothing in this world that you can do to get it back. Disclaimer, I'm coming at this as a viewer, not as a historian. I understand that commentary YouTube existed long before 2017, and I understand there are many, many pockets.
I thought it started when I started it.
Bits of commentary YouTube that don't have anything to do with the people I'm about to talk about. However, I do think that the post-Vine exodus was deeply, deeply influential in the way that commentary is nowadays, and especially like popular commentary. So I'm going to be starting there. In 2017, the app Vine shut down, causing many creators who'd become popular there to flock to YouTube, like the Paul brothers, Lele Pons, Geeks, and Hannah Stocking.
I wonder why it never came back. Why did Vine never come back? It's so strange to me, especially since it was so popular. How did it even go away in the first place? I always see people like hype it up.
People's videos were weird. They were weird. They were very obviously marketed towards kids, but they were also weirdly sexualized and often were just a commercial for kids to buy their merch or whatever other product they were shilling.
This is going to be our secret weapon, CoverGirl Total Tease Mascara. I'm going to give you a makeover you will not forget. This mascara is going to give you full, long, sexy, teased, and refined eyelashes. And my favourite part about this mascara comb is the long and short edges. It gets even to the smallest of corners to give
What the fuck? This is long as hell. Oh, this must not be the Vine. This must be the YouTube. They're trying to sell makeup.
you long, full lashes. And voila. God, you look beautiful.
Wow.
Cover girl did the trick.
Buy that merch, buy that merch, buy that merch. Pandroid.co, /check call. Get it while you can before I sell it all.
What the fuck is happening, dude? I must have missed the they must have missed the golden years. Is this Vine? There's no way that this is Vine. What is this? This is YouTube, right? This is them taking their Vine to YouTube, no?
Spend $100, free shipping, y'all.
What a fucking song, dude. Spend $100, free shipping, y'all. Wow, that's beautiful.
Go tell your mama she gotta buy it all.
This was prior
Haters say it's AI, you know?
to YouTube's settlement with the FTC, which caused them to start having extremely strict standards about marketing content as either for kids or not for kids. So it was kind of a free-for-all. These creators were also just not talented or likable. They made terrible diss tracks. They
I
taught
guess somebody liked them.
their child audiences really harmful lessons. They did other bad things. But other former Viners were also making videos. This group of former Viners was different. They were actually funny, for one, probably because their content was aimed at older teenagers and young adults rather than small children. They very quickly found a niche making fun of those other former Viners. At the time, these videos felt like a breath of fresh air. There was something really refreshing about an average person standing up to the people that many felt were ruining YouTube.
I remember that guy. He didn't do anything wrong, right? I'm just kidding, I think. Pretty sure he did some weird shit.
It really felt like they were speaking truth to power. And given the nature of what the quote-unquote bad former Viners were being called out for, these videos didn't just feel entertaining. They felt like they were of real moral import. Being against Logan Paul was no longer just a matter of finding him annoying. It was a legitimate moral stance.
It's not a mistake. There's a difference between a mistake and an action that shows people who you really are. Usually, when you make a mistake, you know instantly. That's how you know when you've made a mistake. Is that
not true actually at all. Who is this guy? What he's saying is like wrong. Usually when you make a mistake, you don't really realize you made a mistake. I don't know. What is he talking about? I'm getting fucking dumpstered. What is he talking about? Like most of I would say like, yeah, there are times, it depends on the mistake, right? Like if you fucking, you know, drop a glass on the floor, you know you made a mistake. Okay, it's true. Great. You know, but if you like, I don't know, if you say something inappropriate, you're not going to necessarily know you made a mistake. You know, like maybe you didn't realize what you did was wrong. What is he talking about? He's just saying things.
That instant regret. There was no instant regret here. There wasn't regret when he went and did it. There wasn't regret as he was editing it. There wasn't regret when he posted it. The regret came when he started getting piled on by probably people he respects, people like Aaron Paul, who just basically said he's human garbage. I'm sure when
Damn, human garbage.
Logan Paul saw that, that's when it
What mistake are we talking about here?
hits. That's when you realize when you've made a mistake, is when you get backlash for something. And
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, there's also like the virtue signal where you're just like, oh, I mean, I got backlash. Oh, I'm sorry. And you don't actually care. I mean, that part does exist too, but a lot of people don't necessarily realize when they did something wrong. I mean, I don't think it's kind of human to not know you did something wrong, you know?
to me, that's not a mistake. Because if you don't recognize that you've made a mistake until thousands and thousands of people tell you you've made a mistake, especially when it's something where the mistake should be so obvious from the beginning.
What am I missing? What is the mistake? What is the thing that is this the Forest thing? I mean, it's really shitty and scummy, and it's like incredibly disconnected for him to do something like that for attention. I would say that like he thought that was appropriate because he was attention seeking, like he was an attention whore, and that's a problem. I think that's when you get like, if that's what he's referring to, like that's when you get so terminally online, like you don't start thinking correctly. But
that's not a mistake. That is a reveal of character.
So if on the rare chance that Peaks is watching, I want you to listen up, Peaks. I'm talking directly to you now. I don't care that you stole a line from a GIF that I made in 2014 when I was in high school. I don't care that you're making a lot of money because you couldn't pay me to be you. You couldn't pay me to be a sad 30-year-old man making content geared toward 8 to 12-year-olds just to make a quick buck.
Wow, that's pretty harsh. Okay.
You're a sad, sad person, and you have no respect from any comedy community.
Who the fuck is he talking about? Is this the same controversy? Who you call him Peaks or something?
I don't use
At the beginning, that's not a mistake. That is a reveal of character.
So if, on the rare chance that Peaks is watching,
Who the fuck is Peaks?
toward 8 to 12-year-olds
I don't know.
just to make a quick buck.
I don't know anymore.
You're a sad, sad person, and you have no respect from any comedy community out there. I just don't give a shit. You're just a bad person.
That's crazy. Who the fuck is Peaks? Who are we talking about?
From this came the commentary genre as we know it today. Although these people did not create the commentary genre, they certainly helped influence it.
D'Angelo Wallace, wow.
Some of you might be saying, God, why are these...
Hey, Jake Doolittle, man. He's definitely doing a little nowadays, unfortunately.
videos so heavy? Why can't people lighten up? Didn't this used to be the website where people shared funny cat videos? Well, in the past few years, people have become more uncomfortable with the idea of bullying, which is obviously an overall good thing, but it does create an optical problem for anyone whose content revolves around criticizing others.
Sure. I think that now it's the virtue bully, though. Like, you're a good person because you're bullying a bad person. That's kind of how everybody operates, no?
Since these YouTubers understandably don't want to be seen as bullies, they feel like they can't make fun of someone for no reason. So a lot of them only talk about people who they think...
Well, bullies don't make fun of people for no reason. They make fun of people for just, like, a bad reason. They'll usually just, like, make fun of somebody for having, like, a lisp or something like that.
...think deserve it. The thing is... just because you're making fun of someone doesn't mean you have to be super harsh about it. Take Cody Ko.
I mean, it depends on what they did, right? That's how I feel about that.
Whatever else you may think of him, his videos tended to be very relaxed and good-natured.
By a guy named Dre Drexler. First of all, very powerful name.
Yeah.
Dre Drexler?
Sounds like a supervillain.
Yeah, it sounds like a supervillain from like a Marvel comic.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Dre Drexler!
God damn you, Dre Drexler!
Yes, he was still making fun of people, but his videos rarely felt mean-spirited, to a point where several of the people he made fun of actually expressed their approval of his videos, or even went on to collaborate with him in some cases.
All right, nice guy, I guess.
I think it's totally possible to make fun of someone without being mean, and I think that most famous people are accustomed enough to criticism that one Drew Gooden video isn't going to completely break them. But a lot of people don't see it that way. A lot of people think you should only make fun of people if they quote-unquote deserve it.
I guess. I don't know, I guess I kind of feel that way. I don't know.
Take this
It depends on what the intention of your, like, making fun of is, you know? You know, if you're making fun of somebody for like an immutable characteristic, I don't know. Depends on what you're doing. I don't know. If they're just like a little silly and you're being a little silly, that's fine. It's proportionate. You know, if they're a bad person, then yeah, fuck it. I'll make fun of a bad person. I don't give a fuck. And then you're gonna be like, well, what makes a bad person? I don't know. Whatever I think it does. You know, I don't know. A liar, a grifter, guys. You're being a grifter right now.
This Connor video from 2023 wherein he talks about Water Talk. Water Talk is a community.
Isn't Water Talk a place where everybody's like they put different flavors in their waters? It's kind of badass. It's kind of I can feel the vibe. Low calorie. I respect that. Community
of people on TikTok whose entire online personalities revolve around
Hey, listen.
Putting flavored syrup in their water.
Listen, my entire personality revolves around being fat and liking my wife a lot. You know, I love her and I like her. You know what I mean? Best friend. So you can't get any more cringe than that, am I right?
And then insisting that it's still water?
Listen, dude, you just don't get it.
Which, like, in retrospect, yeah, that was absolutely rage bait.
I agree with it though, because think about this. Like, imagine you put like a bunch of different things in your water, like salt and uric acid, you know, different things, maybe pigments. It's still water. Hormones, maybe amino acids and other metabolites. You know, that's still water. That's why they call it a golden shower, because it's water. Okay, don't worry about it.
I think anyone can see that good-natured jokes about this community are certainly warranted, even if this community...
The guy looks like he should be wearing an orange jumpsuit.
...isn't necessarily hurting anyone. I mean, if you start insisting that a lamp is a mailbox or something, you're not hurting anyone, but you are incorrect, and I am allowed to point that out and make jokes about it.
What if the lamp is all it doubles as a mailbox? You don't know.
Especially if you're doubling down.
What am I doing?
Yet, look at what Connor does.
And I figure I should mention the controversies or criticisms, I guess I should say, surrounding Water Talk. Because I'm sure there's going to...
Did I look up what was in P? No, why would I ever look up what was in P? That makes no sense. You think I looked up what was in pee just to make a joke? What the fuck?
There'll be people commenting on this video. You know, these videos are harmless. You know, let people enjoy things.
Why do we hate women enjoying things so much?
And yeah, sure, those are both true. I don't know.
Now that I realize it's mostly women enjoying it, I actually think it's a bad thing.
Oh, like, I don't fucking know anything. I just think these videos are really funny. But this person on TikTok, their name is All in the Music. They have some pretty good points, so I'm gonna play a little bit of their video.
It's toxic diet culture to continue to call it water, and
why is it toxic diet culture? I guess maybe I guess because it's not as healthy as water? I don't know. Okay.
it's really dangerous, and so I'm really fucking sick of it. Like, you're
Why is it dangerous? I'm a little confused by it. What makes it dangerous though?
claiming because it's zero sugar, it's 0 calories, that like it isn't adding something. You're adding Nerds powder to water. You're drinking Nerds. You're drinking
Well, the water is usually sugar free though, so it's not really Nerds.
diet Nerds. You're drinking flat diet soda, and that's fine. Fucking call it that. Otherwise, it's dangerous.
So I'll leave it up to you guys.
I don't know if it's dangerous. It's a little crazy, but
I said, you know, come to your own conclusions.
Respectfully, I think this take is really dumb. I feel like toxic diet culture.
it just seems over. It seems like you're thinking about it too much. You know, the black girl. You know what I mean? Not me. I never think too much.
Probably would not allow you to add sugary, calorie-laden syrups to a 0 calorie.
Yeah, but none of those syrups had calories. That's the whole point of the water talk. Literally, none of those syrups have calories. That's the whole point of it. No, I'm pretty sure that's the truth. None of the syrups have calories, and that's why they call it water. It's like they're just flavor. They're just They're just like flavor enhancers, right? And again, it's probably not water. It's probably some kind of juice, technically, I guess. But whatever, and it doesn't matter. You know, if you want to say like, hey, like the aspartame or whatever that's in it is not good for you or something, yeah, maybe. I mean, probably better than drinking whatever else people are drinking. But
You drink?
are there electrolytes in it?
But hey, maybe we just have very different definitions of toxic diet culture. Hi, editing me here. I also need to point out that most of the time when influencers are accused of promoting diet culture,
Whoa, what the fuck?
I also need to point out that most of the time when influencers are accused of promoting
Is that Nicki Minaj?
diet culture,
Jesus Christ. Is that Demi Lovato? Wow, before she was Demi?
Said
They were them? I don't know.
influencer usually has way more fame and is usually trying to sell something. The Kardashian Jenners, for example, are infamous for hawking scammy products that claim to help people lose weight, like waist cinchers or
Damn, that's not nice.
so-called diet teas or so-called appetite-suppressing lollipops. The problem is that a lot of these products
Do you know what's an appetite suppressant? Cigarettes? I don't know. It's not good though. It's not healthy for you.
are at worst unsafe and at best just don't work. And the criticism comes because the Kardashian Jenners gained a lot of their fame due to their bodies. And they got those bodies through diet, exercise, and cosmetic enhancements.
Well, they probably got it through like having like a personal trainer and stuff. If somebody that like watches their food and gives them the Kaya treatment if they're fucking eating something they're not supposed to.
Only to then turn around and act like they were able to achieve this beauty standard with something as cheap and easy to obtain as a laxative tea. It would be like if I started saying, do you want long, beautiful, platinum blonde hair like me? Use this dye. To accuse creators
I thought that it was a wig.
who have a fraction of the Kardashian Jenner's influence of doing something like this is really disingenuous.
Well, I don't think that's what they were doing. I think there were people that were like trying to lose weight by cutting out like unhealthy stuff in their, you know, whatever, by cutting out like sugary sodas. And that's kind of like, I guess, how they did it. That was it. It wasn't like that. I don't think that they were doing that. Because, you know, the Kardashians have like they have like a whole, what the fuck? They have like a whole infrastructure. Like, you know that they are, that they have somebody that's doing everything for them. That's like moderating what they're eating and like everything. They're like very unrealistic in what they have, like what resources they have. So, and they're like, oh, it's actually this thing. It's like, no, it's actually the person that fucking punches them in the face when they eat something they're not supposed to.
And irresponsible.
That's what it actually is, right? But these people usually mean well. They're trying to make flavored drinks to get more water intake in there. They're trying to like cut down on their diet. It's fine. But all right.
And even Connor doesn't seem that convinced by her argument. He was very non-committally just like, I don't know, guys, like maybe this is something. In my opinion, Connor got it into his head that this video was punching down and that he needed to try and scramble and find like a real justification for making this video.
Oh, maybe. That might be you might be thinking too much into it. I mean, I'm not going to watch Connor's entire video. Maybe he was just trying to throw out an opposing perspective. Maybe he thought it was punching down and wanted to justify her for it. I don't know. That seems like a reach, but...
And I'm going to be honest, I kind of think that this person's moral grandstanding is a lot meaner than Connor just cracking a couple of lighthearted jokes. When Connor makes those jokes, like, we understand that this is just kind of a silly and stupid corner of the internet that we can make fun of. But when that woman...
Yeah, in like a silly, lighthearted way, you know?
Makes it this whole moral issue.
Oh, didn't thought how ED got triggered by sugar-free frozen yogurt. What the fuck?
It makes people feel like they are not only justified, but morally obligated to go on these women's pages and spam them with hateful messages, because in their mind, they're fighting toxic diet culture. Making it clear that these
Oh, yeah, I guess that is what is happening there.
videos are supposed to just be silly and lighthearted seriously reduces that risk. Now, this is an isolated incident. I like Connor's content quite a lot. I think he's very talented and very funny. But this moment has always just...
I think I'm a little lost. I didn't think it was that deep.
Really stuck out to me as a prime example of someone feeling like they need to justify making a video. I think that the popularity of commentary has kind of caused people to overlook what made those videos from 2018 good.
I thought this was fucking 11 from Stranger Things, to be honest with you. That was crazy.
First place.
She kind of looks like it, no? No? A little bit? Am I crazy?
So let's look at examples from Eddie Burback and Cody Ko critiquing Lele Pons. Their commentary was very specialized. Rather than trying to compile a list of every single one of her worst sins, they focused on critiquing a handful of videos as a reflection of a specific problem with her content. Their tones also differed drastically. Ko's video was critiquing from the standpoint of comedy and seemed much more laid back, while Burback's focused on her lack of honesty when it came to selling things to children.
So the thing about Lele's content in the 3 videos that I watched is, Lele doesn't seem to make stuff and get sponsored.
Who the fuck is Lele Pons and what are they selling? I'm so lost. I've never heard of this person in my entire fucking life. I feel like I wish I knew what they were selling because it could give me an opinion on what this is.
So she can keep making stuff.
Lele Pons was Diesel Patch's favorite creator. Oh, okay. I'll take that as a fact.
It seems like sponsors will contact her and say, hey, Lele, we've seen that you've made a video centering on another company before. Can you do that for us? And she goes,
I mean, that seems to be the case with a lot of celebrities. They do that. Right.
Absolutely. The problem is that Lele's audience is very young. And when you're not clear about sponsorships to young kids, then
Since time of filming, I noted
things get a little tricky.
Hold on, what are you noting?
About sponsorships to young kids.
Since the times of filming, I noticed, and includes paid promos tag has been put on some of her videos. Oh, so what's the point of his commentary if he's saying that? Sounds like she's being, I guess, kind of clear. I guess you could say the kids won't understand it, but I mean, the adults should understand it and be like, hey, kids, be careful with this thing you're interacting with. No? I don't know. Okay, gotcha.
Kids, then things get a little tricky. It
does not always show up in the video description have no mention of paid promotions. That sounds more like a legal issue, no?
Trying to deceive children into liking certain brands, that's one of the scummiest things you can do in entertainment.
This just seems like really high energy, man. This is a lot for me. It's a lot for me. That doesn't seem, I don't know. Who cares about kids? Kids are ugly and they're stupid and they stink like shit, you know?
Stuck with what they could observe. In this case, that Lele Pons wasn't funny, that her writing was often lazy, that her content was clearly aimed at children but contained inappropriate themes, and that her failure...
Damn, I've never heard of that before. I remember watching Ren and Stimpy and I was like, this is so nice. This is such a good thing for people to be consuming, you know?
To disclose sponsorships could have deceived children. In particular, Burback's focusing on one moral issue made his stance feel more sincere. He wasn't cataloging every peccadillo ever committed by Lele Pons, and as such, the video felt more focused. But at a certain point, making fun of former Viners stopped being fun. They weren't these huge stars anymore, and poking fun at them started to feel mean. So, creators...
Was it mean, or was it just not getting attention so that people stopped giving a fuck about it, you know?
Started to expand their content. Even when they were critical, it was often directed at entire industries rather...
I don't know, I kind of noticed here that like most of this stuff that they're what the fuck? Most of the stuff here that they're complaining about doesn't really, it seems like kind of like a slam dunk. Does that make sense? You know, it's like, oh, who are we talking about? Oh, this person that probably won't respond. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like boring.
Rather than one
Give me a little more slop.
specific person.
And I think, before we move on, this is what's really bothering me about it. What Pocket Watch is suggesting is that traditional media is now adopting this really kind of, in a way, like abusive to children way of modeling things.
What do they do that it's abusive to children? What the fuck?
These kids are working full-time jobs as entertainers.
Damn, that could be toxic. I mean, I worked a job when I was young, so I don't care about the job part as long as like it's, they have time for school and stuff. But if the toxicity that can come with being a content creator, that's like probably like the bigger issue, right?
Entertainers, and they have no say in it. It's already bad with child actors, but at least we have an established industry to make sure it's cool for them. I don't know if there's anybody looking out for these kids. This isn't just like,
well, at least you are, Edward. I can appreciate that.
Hulu making a show out of it. This is a company funded by the biggest actor in the world in the biggest franchise. Hulu is a giant streaming service with multi-million-dollar networks behind them. And Butch Hartman is a classic TV show producer. This is a real industry problem now.
Their content's...
What the fuck are we talking about? Like, I have a problem because like I don't know what exactly we're complaining about. So as like a viewer, if I'm watching this and I'm like, like if I'm not already in the know of what they're complaining about, I don't really know. I mean, incredible verbiage I'm using here. I understand that I sound like a fucking moron, but you know what I'm saying? Like I don't really know what the fuck we're referring to exactly.
Simply evolved. Eddie Burback visits chain restaurants and talks about video games with his brother. Drew Gooden reviews movies and talks about general internet phenomena. Danny Gonzalez is a father. And Cody Ko disappeared into the ether one day and hasn't been heard from since.
Well, it's probably because he was like, didn't you like sleep with Tana Mongeau or something? And like, when she was like 17, that's probably why he disappeared.
So now there was this huge niche begging for someone.
I need a little bit of more of the lore. Just a little creator critique, I guess. Productive creator critique. Give me more lore,
to make money off of it. Being mean is fun, and calling people out seemed a matter of grave importance. So we started getting multi-hour-long deep dives into various people's scandals. Look, I understand the appeal of internet panopticons. I, too, have been guilty of indulging in way too many videos about Colleen Ballinger or Jake Paul. I just spent the entire opening of this video making fun of a mid-sized commentary creator over a drama from 4 years ago. Hating-ass bitchery is simply a part of my DNA. It's fun to criticize people. It can be...
That's true. That's true. I love it too. It's my favorite thing in the world.
Comforting to rubberneck celebrities who are so observably awful. It reassures us that however bad we think we are, at least we're not talking about sex in group chats with middle schoolers or just
tampons or anything like that.
Just pick one. But that's also the problem. Just because you're a better person than Colleen Ballinger or Jake Paul doesn't mean you're a good person, and it certainly doesn't mean that you're incapable of messing up. That's why I've taken my irrepressible love of gossip and channeled it into reading biographies of famous dictators. For the record...
Wow, that's incredible. What the fuck?
I'm not saying that critical content is bad at all. Big creators hold a lot of influence and they deserve to be...
No, I understand what you're saying. You're saying that if you have like a boogeyman, then by association, you may feel like you're better than you are. I get what you're saying, It's like when I watch My 600-Pound Life. And I'm like, at least I'm not that guy. And I'm eating like a whole fucking Domino's pizza. Like I'm fucking, morbidly obese. I'm drinking a bunch of flavored waters. It's still water, guys, but which is really toxic, apparently,
be called out when they do something bad. But if you create an entire career off of criticizing others, you're often incentivized to discuss the worst of the worst, especially nowadays when so many...
Well, you're going to get people who are going to hold you to like an insanely high standard too, especially if you don't leave like room for growth.
Online controversies are so serious.
Well, just me, and that's something you really need to fucking fix.
I'm gonna fucking bash your fucking head against the wall with a...
This guy's a pretty bad guy. Some people say he's worse than the Annoying Orange.
Brick, if you don't shut the fuck up.
It can severely distort your view of the average person's morality. And I will suggest that if your career...
What the hell's happening on the screen right now?
...revolves around calling people out, and if you don't take a step back every so often to touch some grass... You might start to...
Oh, it's a guy in blackface, I think.
...get a false sense of your own moral authority. I also think that the commentary community has gotten so big and so insular that we forget that at its core...
Isn't insular mean that it's like insulated? No? I feel like the commentary community is the opposite of that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there's like a lot it has more. Maybe it's niche. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Commentary is a very adversarial genre, and
I mean, I guess it's because I'm in like a commentary community that usually calls other people out that would respond.
I think we often forget that the aforementioned creators got a lot of pushback from Paul Brothers fans and even Jake Paul himself when they were making this content. Nowadays, a lot of the people who get
it's the D'Amelios. Dixie D'Amelio looks kind of like Demi Lovato now because they got crashed out because they weren't as successful as their younger sister. Struggle, you know.
Critiqued either don't use YouTube as their main platform or are too big to respond to hit pieces without seeming petty. When we look
it's not even about seeming petty. It's more the motivation is it's not worth highlighting because it's irrelevant to you and your brand, and it's not productive to respond to it. That's more of the reason why they're not going to respond to it. And like, yeah, Mr. Paul is much bigger than most of the criticism that he gets. You know, most people don't really care. I mean, he's on fucking WWE, so you know.
The combined belief that, number one, certain people have sinned past the point of deserving empathy, and number two, you yourself are incapable of sinning, drama coverage can start to get a little lazy. I mean, who cares about facts? These people suck.
True. That does happen sometimes. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
This leads to
sometimes people feel like if there's a bad thing happening, then they can say whatever they want about it. That's usually like what the safe video is. You know, that's what happens with Cruel World Happy Mind. Is she thought like Ethan was a safe dunk because she's using the thumbnail here, so she thought Ethan was a safe dunk. So she's like, I can say whatever I want, it won't really matter without like unverified, you know. And whoop, that backfired.
A lot of people getting a little bit too comfortable criticizing people for a living with little to no pushback, only to have a really rude awakening when their video leaves their little niche.
Yeah, true.
Madison Harnish, known
what the is that fucking dude? Why does she look like a different person every time I see her? What the fuck?
Online as Cruel World Happy Mind, got started with videos making fun of multi-level marketing companies, or MLMs, which she insistently calls Malems for some reason. She started pivoting into creator-focused deep dives in 2021 after one particular video, how Rachel Hollis destroyed her career.
Yeah, they're mostly like safe videos too, because those people aren't going to respond. Right, that's like another element to it.
Earned 2.3 million views. As her channel went on, she started focusing less on financial scams, although her early videos on Tana Mojo, Trisha Paytas, and the McBroom family very much examined their careers through that lens and focusing more on drama. Which is fine, by the way. I'm not going to act like your interest changing is indicative of some sort of major character flaw.
No, it's not. Also, sometimes you got to see what works, man. You know, sometimes you got to evolve with the times.
I will, however, suggest that drama content and video essays don't really go together. If we look at the best...
why not? I feel like that's not true. we interact with plenty of like drama video essays. Say like Willie Mack, great guy. Rob's Media, autistic, great guy by the way, because there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. What the hell?
Known and best regarded video essayists, ContraPoints, Lindsay Ellis, H-Bomber Guy, they tend to have a very slow turnout rate, and that makes sense. The topics...
okay, I understand, because like drama is very short form, or it's not short form, very quick. Boom, 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 breaking news in many instances. And so you think that the video essays might be toxic because of that. It's a slow turnaround. Not toxic, excuse me. Unproductive because the turnaround rate like needs to be faster. I guess, maybe.
They cover require one to be extremely thorough. Imagine if Harry Brewis hadn't so exhaustively documented...
I think that you could still be thorough. You know, if you could take your time with it, as long as you're like really in depth, you know.
James Somerton's plagiarism. Somerton might have been able to wiggle out of it. Brewis had to be extremely comprehensive for his video to make the impact that it did. Meanwhile, drama by its nature is constantly changing. If you set out to make a YouTube...
Bro, I feel like people really go after Michaela Nagura. I can't say her fucking name a little too much. People have it's crazy how much people go after her. That just seems like it's not that deep. Like she's really not that bad. It's people go fucking crazy because it's like just dumb.
YouTube drama video essay, the information in it might be old by the time you finish writing your script. So
a lot of people like to rehash it. So
when making
a lot of times, a lot of those video essays will be like the first half of the video is like, hey, you remember when they did this bad thing? All right, now here's what they did now. You know, which sometimes I guess can help the viewer.
Video essays on interpersonal dramas, you're presented with the rare challenge of a format that requires time, effort, and careful research mixed with the knowledge that people might not care about this particular topic next month, or even next week. And what if your videos are not particularly known for their effort or careful research? What if you're just a little too biased in your coverage? Gabby Hannah is a former Viner who transitioned to YouTube when the app shut down. While she started out as just a content creator, she later started...
What was she ever known for? I don't quite get it. She's so strange to me.
...pursuing music and poetry to varying levels of success.
So what if I'm the monster? That's...
Wow. Can't believe her voice did that naturally.
been here all along.
She's probably best known because in 2021, she had a very public... fall from grace, which led to a lot of, let's be clear, completely appalling behavior. She was a really big
Listen, man, sometimes I guess you get really big on a platform and you don't know how to recapture that and you just have a meltdown, but I don't know what she's doing now. Didn't she get like married or something? I feel like she might be married now. I think that's true. I don't really know.
Topic because she was kind of just a well of entitlement and anger and egotism and weaponized therapy speak. It was like a car crash you couldn't look away from.
Fuck you. Fuck all of these people for what they've done to me. And for them to be tweeting right now, I'm playing the victim. I am the fucking victim.
That's so sad for you, Queen.
You have abused me.
Look, nobody likes Gabby Hannah. I hear these stories all the time about her sending her fans after people, and I believe that she did that, but it's always just so hard to conceive of it because I have never met anyone who was ever at any point a fan of Gabby Hannah. What I'm trying to say is that how Gabby Hannah destroyed her career was a pretty popular video. With 6.9 million views as of the time I'm writing this, it's Harnish's most viewed video to date. And I supplied several of those views.
All right. Well, you know what? At least you're a master at your craft. You're a master at your craft. Got plenty of research in there.
2023 was weird, don't ask. However, when I later did my own research, I found there were some moments that had been lacking context and that seemed specifically edited to try and make Hannah look worse. Alright, I'm sorry to fill your head with more banal, years-old dramas, but in order for you to understand my criticisms, I am going to need to tell you about some stuff. In 2017, Hannah tweeted calling out people who use other YouTubers' names for clickbait. Brian Lee, also known as Rice Gum, another YouTuber known for bullying kids, I guess.
Yeah, now he's known for, I believe, what does he do now? I believe what he does now is he does like weird OnlyFans management shit. It's fucking strange. I mean, I guess that's an evolution there, huh?
Took this personally and made a diss track. Hannah responded in kind. While at a party, Hannah went up to Lee with her phone out and started taunting him and challenging him to a rap battle. Smash cut to this story, where Hannah claimed Lee had hit her and smashed her phone, later showing bruises and scratches. She then...
Damn. Do you think that she scratched and bruised herself? Like trying to take a fucking shit or something?
Clarified on the same night that he hadn't, quote, beaten the shit out of her, end quote, but that an assault had happened and that she'd merely claimed he'd hit her because she'd been so shaken. She had made the story not long after the assault had happened, and Lee is over 6 feet tall, so I can imagine that a tall man lunged...
She's 6 feet tall? Or he's 6 feet tall? Just say fucking Rice Gum. Is Rice Gum... Lee... Okay. It makes sense. Asian guy. I'm just getting fucking confused. We're always using different names, okay? My names are not my strong suit. I don't know if you guys have realized that. I'm not even kidding. I still don't know everybody's name still. I don't know all of my wife's family's names still. I'm not kidding, okay?
Lunging at you, grabbing you hard enough to leave bruises, snatching a phone out of your hand, and smashing it on the ground must have been really scary. In her Gabby Hannah video, Harnish talked about the drama like this.
She's trying to take a shit. Sometimes you gotta strain so hard you fucking... You know, you dig your fingernails into your fucking legs and you're like, oh, I gotta, you know what I mean? You're rocking back and forth. You do circles around there trying to get that poo-poo out, you know?
In Gabby Hannah's initial success, there were many...
Dude, I swear to God, the new fucking person every goddamn time. You know, pick a style, girl. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Jesus.
Instances where she seemed to be a very confrontational and aggressive person. There was the situation with Rice Gum, where, to summarize, Gabby Hannah was kind of wanting him to get some sort of response on a Snapchat video, kept provoking him, even though he said, no, I don't.
That's what I'm saying. Remembering names is hard. Yes. And I'm tired of society pretending it's not. Shoot, it's so true. I don't care if you're memeing on me. It's the truth. Okay, give me a fucking break.
Don't want to do this, no. And she wouldn't leave him alone and kept kind of instigating something with him.
Oh, it sounds like victim blaming.
And he got really upset and broke her phone.
Get a squatty potty? I don't really need a squatty potty. I I take omeprazole and metformin, and it makes me have to shit. So,
do I think that's right or an okay thing to do? Not at all. Physical aggression, no matter what, is inexcusable and not okay. But
what if somebody's physically aggressing onto you first, Madison? You don't know shit. Nah, it's usually not okay to be violent.
Do have to know that this is a pattern that continues to pop up with Gabby Hannah, where she will provoke people until they react.
I understand that Harnish was trying to establish a pattern wherein Hannah would provoke people and then play the victim once they responded. I actually agree that this was a pattern of behavior for Hannah. However, I think that including the rice gum situation in that pattern is very, very flawed. The other people Hannah provoked by, like...
Why? If she's looking to provoke people, even if it's not necessarily to violence, I mean, that just shows a pattern of her constantly trying to provoke people. You know, and her escalating to be popular in some capacity or to maintain relevance in some capacity, you know?
Calling a YouTuber who'd reviewed her poetry book a bitch, or claiming that she'd been treated really unfairly on this set only for them to reveal that she had actually been an absolute nightmare to work with. She didn't just, like, go up to them at parties and laughingly challenge them to a rap battle. And they responded by making YouTube videos. They didn't assault her. What the fuck is wrong with you? I think that Gabby Hannah has done more than enough.
Well, I guess I figured it was just like the fundamentals of like she would provoke people into responding, and then she didn't realize it would get violent sometimes. I don't know.
Enough bad stuff.
But also she didn't get hurt, so.
Her life.
Didn't she like fake it? Wasn't she like 100% lying anyway? Is that the issue? That Cruel World Happy Mind is assuming that she actually got hit, and that like she's like it still doesn't matter that it happened anyway. Is that what it is?
We don't need to start semi-justifying violence against women. Harnish's retelling of that drama is really weird because the popular narrative around that story is that Hannah had lied, and often leaves out that Hannah did try to clarify on the same night that Lee hadn't actually hit her.
Well, then why did she say she got bruises?
She doesn't even go with the she lied about him hitting her narrative, which is really weird because that is such a popular one that's used against Hannah. And
well, didn't she say she was left with bruises? How'd she get the bruises unless he hit her? And if she tried to clarify that he didn't hit her, then she lied about the bruises. So isn't that a lie anyway?
Honestly makes me a little bit suspicious about where exactly she's getting her information, but more on that later. In 2020, Gabby Hannah posted a video called Transforming into a TikTok e-girl, wherein she tried to imitate a fashion style that had
might be time to grow up, girl.
Gone viral on TikTok. While perusing a Vox article called E-Girls and E-Boys Explained, Hannah happened upon a picture of a girl named Bianca Devins and said this.
This outfit right here is straight up what I wore from 7th grade to college. And now. I do have that shirt.
Unfortunately, Hannah had only been scanning the article and failed to realize that Devins had been brutally murdered at the age of only 17.
That's fucking crazy, dude. I'm sorry, that's fucked up. Holy shit.
Channels jumped on this, insisted that the entire article had been about Devins, and accused Hannah of exploiting a dead girl. Cue Devins' mother, Kim, who made a video saying that Hannah had done nothing wrong and that people needed to apologize to her.
So we are here because...
Damn, mommy stepping up, dude.
Because there has been so much controversy and drama over the Gabby Hannah video where she used Bianca.
Well, I think that's what it is that Gabby Hannah is such a hateable person that people feel like they can say whatever they want about her, and it doesn't really matter. Because even if you get it wrong, who's going to defend Gabby Hannah? You know? Rest in peace, yeah.
Sure. We just want to say that we were not offended by it at all. We didn't see anything wrong with what she did. She Googled e-girl and pulled up a picture of Bianca. Yes, there was an article about what happened to her, but there wasn't anything...
Simple mistake.
It doesn't sound like she was being disrespectful. She's like, oh, she looks nice. That was the whole fundamental, like the whole point of it, no?
Simple mistakes. There was nothing disrespectful about it. We didn't feel disrespected. We don't feel Bianca would have been disrespected. We think Bianca would have been honored and so excited that Gabby Hannah pulled up her picture and was talking about her.
Nicholas Sierra loves Gabby. Wow, he's got a lot of girls, huh? Gabby, Mika's Rhetoric, Frogan. It's incredible. The girl he met at round one that one time.
No one should be offended. No one should be. All these
the girl on the right looks like the DoorDash girl. Kind of true, yeah.
Drama channels that are, you know, using Bianca for clout. It's absolutely ridiculous because that's all you're doing.
We are offended about, and you guys also should be.
Yeah,
not about Gabby Hannah.
Sounds like the girl on the right, the younger daughter. I'm assuming she appreciates the drama slop. The girl on the left is just there for a good time, and mom's just like, hey. I'm not terminally online. Knock it off.
Implementing her shirt.
Yeah, Gabby wasn't using Bianca for clout like all these drama channels now want to turn it into something that it's not. She didn't do anything wrong. So we think what you guys should be offended by is, number one, these people using this simple Google search and bring up Bianca's picture, is now other people want to bring about drama and use Bianca's death for clout.
The T channel said, "I pretend I do not see it," and continued to harass Hannah.
This guy's a weirdo. Duncan guy.
With the viewer's voice even floating a conspiracy theory that Kim Devins wasn't Bianca's real mom.
What the fuck is that about? Is like people actually believe that, or what is this? But also, having watched the video from the family, I'll say it seems a bit off. I've never seen a mother use the word clout and T channel so much. Gabby Hannah, I guess, wanted to write something for Jesse to read, so why not anyone else to further the narrative? My conspiracy, allegedly. What the fuck? These people are such weirdos.
Classy. When she was having her public spectacle in June.
I'll tell you, I feel like the girly pop drama tea thing is the most toxic, you know. And I'm in a pretty, I think I'm in a kind of toxic community, but I feel like these are like the most toxic people. They're so weird. They're so like worked up over dumb shit all the time. And you can't have a normal person conversation with them. They're so terminally online, I'm telling you.
Of 2021, Hannah made a video calling out the drama channels that had attacked her and demanded that they apologize to the family. Kim Devins tweeted in support of Hannah, saying she did not want an apology, but that Hannah absolutely deserved one. Angelica Oles used this discrepancy as an excuse to DM Devins to ask what she wanted. Hannah freaked out. It kind of feels like a lot of these drama channels did to Hannah what, ironically enough, Hannah's been accused of doing to other people, where they just pushed and pushed and pushed her, and then the second Hannah didn't respond 100% perfectly, they all just went and played the victim. And some of you might be saying, well, that's what she gets, but I do not personally reside in ancient Mesopotamia, and as such, I do not live my life according to the code of Hammurabi.
I love Hammurabi. We learned about him a lot in school. I mean, you said allegedly. I'm not like super educated on Gabby Hannah. If she put out a particular like energy, I guess we'd say a morally virtuous energy out there, and then she got that energy back, I'm not really shitting my pants about it, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, you shouldn't, you know, if you don't want people to, you know, that's kind of valid. No, you know, if you're gonna be, you know, if you're gonna put a particular energy out there and people give it back to you, I'm not really that worked up about it. You know, you shouldn't be so fucking crazy sometimes, I'd say.
And some of you might be saying, well, that's what she gets, but I do not personally reside in ancient Mesopotamia, and as such, I do not live my life according to the code of Hammurabi. In her coverage, Harnish did not say what had happened to Bianca Devins or what Hannah had been criticized for. She also didn't include any of Kim Devins' statements.
And Gabby also had...
Damn, that's a huge fucking problem. You'd think you'd want to be accurate on that. But hey, research is tough, am I right? Cruel World, Happy Madison?
Had a few major scandals that a lot of T channels covered. One situation I really don't feel comfortable talking about because it has to do with a very young girl dying a very horrible death, which
How'd she die? I was not aware.
Personally feel like is just off limits to talk about on my channel personally. She was telling them,
I guess that's kind of fair. I don't know.
You need to make this type of apology video. You need to do this and this and this. And it was like a really aggressive and forceful tone in the video.
Who was doing that?
Telling them you need to is just off limits to talk about on my channel personally. She was telling them you need to make this type of apology video. You need to do this and this and this. And it was like a really aggressive and forceful tone in the video.
Is she referring to Gabby Hannah saying that, or is she referring to the mom saying that about people apologizing to Gabby Hannah?
This also feels like harassment. The tone that she takes, the forceful nature of what she says, and then additionally on top of that, the way that she treated Angelica Oles, another YouTube channel, kind of T channel, drama channel on YouTube.
This is how Oles had previously talked about Hannah complimenting Devon's t-shirt, by the way.
Oh, it just blows my mind how unaware she is of how of a human being she is.
If that blows her mind, she should read about this Stalin guy.
So Angelica Oles, instead of doing what Gabby Hannah was instructing her to do, reached out to the mom of the victim herself and tried to gather more information from the mom, asking questions.
What more information do you need? Didn't the mom already come forward and say, hey, this is bad? What?
Like, is this really what you want? What do you want? And
Is that after the mom had already clarified what she wanted? Like...
I honestly completely understand why she did that. That's kind of a smart thing to do in this situation.
I feel like it might not be. What's the timeline here? Did she reach out to the mom after the mom was like, hey, stop bullying Gabby Hannah? Because then it's like a really shitty thing to do, because mom already gave their perspective, but I don't really know. So I can't really answer that, I guess.
And it's kind of responsible to go to the source directly, go to the victims directly, and make sure that they are 100% comfortable with a response or non-response or whatever it is. So then Gabby Hannah made a video on Angelica Oles because she found out that she contacted the mom and just made a ton of inflammatory statements towards Angelica.
Didn't she just say that she's just not going to talk about this? And also, like, yeah, this would be valid, again, if this was after the mom already came public and said, hey, like, I don't want you talking about my daughter, anybody, like, or don't specifically stop, like, bullying Gabby Hannah, I guess, because she didn't really do anything wrong. So
the whole video was just really cruel and over the top, in my opinion, and extremely aggressive.
Oh, it just blows my mind how unaware she is of how of a human being she is.
Context absolutely mattered in this situation. Hannah did not blow up at Oles for merely criticizing her. She blew up at her because Oles and her contemporaries had spread an extremely damaging narrative about Hannah. For what it's worth, I do not think that Harnish was necessarily trying to be...
I feel like the timeline of events here, I wish it was displayed, because I don't really know. I feel like we're not getting a lot of context. It's like very... You know, I feel like we're not getting a lot of context. Also, bigger criticism would be like, isn't it? She says she's not going to talk about the topic because somebody died, so she just like completely virtue signaled, no?
Malicious in omitting what had happened to Devins or what Hannah was being criticized for. I do think she was genuinely trying to be respectful. However, a consequence of this omission is that it allows the audience's imagination to run away with them as they wonder what on earth Gabby Hannah could have possibly done to this young girl. I also cannot think of a...
That's true. It would make sense to actually bring that context in there. It's very shitty coverage from Cruel World, have in mind, but...
Single non-malicious reason why Harnish would have left out that Bianca Devins' family had said that Hannah hadn't done anything wrong. It suggests that Harnish is...
It's funny, though. Like, it's funny because we're getting, like, a lot of context about how bad of a person Cruel World, have in mind is, and how, like... like I said, like, let me just be honest with you. This is like I said, this was not going to be the first time that she got research wrong, but nobody cared. Because when it came down to it, Cruel World, Happy Mind went after slam dunk people that even when she would lie about them or say something wrong or omit information, which is a lie about omission, she wouldn't get any pushback on it because nobody cared enough to defend them because they thought that she was a horrible person. So you could just lie away.
Either willing to lie in order to make the subjects of her video look worse, or is such a poor researcher that she genuinely didn't know that Devins' family had weighed in. Even though I don't want to state intent, it does make me feel like the reason why Harnish left out what Hannah had been criticized for was because Harnish knew it was stupid and knew most people would think Hannah had been at least somewhat justified in blowing up at those drama channels. So, we now have two separate examples of creators claiming to care for victims only to ignore what the victims want in favor
Cruel World, Happy Come, baby.
Of waging a smear campaign. It really makes you wonder, do they care? Or do they just want to look like they care? Remember when I said that Harnish's retelling of the rice gum situation had made me really suspicious about where exactly Harnish was getting her information? Well, so did her...
I was using last names. I'm like Harnish. Yeah, okay, Madison, got it.
Retelling of this situation. So I looked into it and I discovered that she has a Google Doc full of sources, citing such...
She always has a Google Doc full of sources. It's mostly Reddit. She just like reads Reddits and then it goes... It's the same as copying Wikipedia, but less credible. That's her whole fucking thing.
Reputable and unbiased videos as Gabby Hannah lying and being manipulative for 8 minutes straight, Gabby Hannah cringe compilation, Why I Don't Trust Gabby Hannah, and Gabby gaslight Hannah exposing herself for 4 minutes straight. Look, I'm not terribly fond of Hannah either, and I understand that at the time...
She's kind of hot, though. She's kind of crazy. You know, I can appreciate that.
Harnish was making this video, finding coverage that wasn't openly hostile to Hannah was kind of a tall order. But it definitely existed, and yet none of it made it into the sources for this video.
I'm telling you, she just fucking looks at Reddit. She doesn't watch any of the videos that she claims she watches. It's all Reddit shit. She just looks at Reddit and goes like, oh yeah, I watched a video... But she's just looking at Reddits that are like, oh, look at this resource. This is good enough.
Video. In fact, I sorted them, and at least 25 of the 40 sources were negative. That's almost 2/3 of sources for a video from someone praised for their compassion and objectivity. 8 of the videos cited were compilations or archived videos used for B-roll, and 2 of them I wasn't able to judge because they'd been taken down. As for straight-up positive sources...
Yeah, I do love crazy women, that's why I married one.
Harnish cites 2 funniest moments compilations and a BuzzFeed article. In an hour and 42-minute long video essay about Gabby Hannah, guess how many Gabby Hannah videos are actually cited?
3?
4.
Dude, maybe it could have been 6 or 7.
And 2 of them are music videos. I am having a
Bro, I'm telling you, it's the easy slam dunk Reddit research. Hey, nobody really likes this person, so I don't really have to care about being thoughtful. I'm telling you, I fucking called it from the start. I told you Cruel World Happy Mind was a disingenuous person who always did slam dunks. She did it with Gabby Hannah, but nobody likes her, and she thought that nobody liked Ethan, so that like she was gonna get away with just saying some dumbass snark bullshit, and then she got fucking smacked. That's it. That's what happened. It was so obvious. I knew it from the start. Everybody knew it from the start. I'm not even saying anything interesting. I'm just speaking facts. I'm just speaking factuals, okay?
Really difficult time conveying the utter lack of intellectual curiosity that went into making an hour and 42-minute long video about someone where you are genuinely uninterested in hearing their side. And it perfectly explains why her coverage was so bad. It's because she didn't watch any of Hannah's videos and then try to paraphrase them. She watched recaps of Hannah's videos, which were made by people who didn't like Hannah, and then tried to recap those recap videos like a weird, fucked up game of telephone. Harnish has such a passive approach to content creation. She's not interested in challenging any prevailing narrative or challenging her audience or even challenging herself.
I'll say one thing. The fucking Cruel World Happy Mind hate is pretty real. The only reason I say that is because this video is doing well for her, which God bless. For like her first big video. At least I think so, because they only have like 1,000 followers. And it's just funny. Yeah, this is actually literally her only video. This is her first video. So, you know, considering that, I mean, the video's great so far. You know, but Cruel World Happy Mind, there's just a lot. I feel like that's a lot of it. I don't know, man. People really don't like her. It's funny. She's such a dishonest person, too. It's crazy.
It's one thing to think Gabby Hannah is the spawn of Satan as a viewer, but when you're publicly talking about her, you need to be objective. The Society of Professional Journalists states that the 4 principles of ethical...
Well, that's the thing. She doesn't need to be objective. Like, that's the reality. Right? Like, that's really where we're at. She didn't really need to be objective. Right? People didn't give a fuck. Nobody cared until now. Now it's like, oh, looking back, this is actually really bad. So she really didn't have to be objective. She just had to be more careful about the sources or the targets of her hit pieces, for dishonest hit pieces. She went after somebody that people actually liked, thinking that they didn't like the person, which is Ethan. And that kind of turned into like her getting sniped on all her past shit. That's really what happened. So, you know, nobody really cared before that she had a shitty video about Hannah Montana or whatever the fuck. What the fuck, Gabby Hannah? Hannah, what the fuck is wrong with me? Until now people are like, let me look back at her other stuff, right? Like, that's why we looked at her bullshit feminist video that she had made on her second channel, because I was curious about it, and people sent it, and I looked at it, and it was horrible. It was complaining about a book who was telling women to find male partners that will do domestic chores, find a guy who will advocate for you and stand up for yourself at work, try, you know, do what you gotta do, don't silence yourself, you know, in fear of being called a bitch. And she's like, that's not feminism. It's like, okay. Like, okay. Like, well, what about the system? The system of this? It's like, okay, yeah, the system exists, man. I get it. But like, you're not going to break the system unless you fucking actively try, so.
Journalism dictate that when covering a story, one should seek truth and report it, with coverage being accurate and fair, minimize harm with a journalist respecting the humanity of their subject, act independently and act on behalf of the public, and be accountable
Yeah, that video was the worst.
And transparent, with a journalist taking responsibility for one's work. Do we think Harnish acted with objectivity, empathy, public interest, or responsibility? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. But who cares? Most people have a very justified dislike of Gabby Hannah. If Harnish lied or misled people, then who cared enough about defending Hannah's honor to call Harnish out? Who would have even bothered to check Harnish's claims and realize that she was lying in the first place? So,
Nobody. That's the goal.
A few days after Harry Brewis uploaded his video exposing James Somerton's plagiarism, Todd Nathanson, who publicly goes by Todd in the Shadows, uploaded a video wherein he debunked a bunch of misinformation that Somerton had propagated. The video is almost 2 hours long, go figure. The claims ranged from funny ones like Disney licenses their images at funerals to straight-up homophobic myths like the Nazis were mostly gay, even though Brewis's was more
based. Listen, I think it's based calling homophobes gay, personally, because they get upset by it, by a non-insult, you know what I mean?
popular. This video is the one that really stuck out to me.
So, what is the conclusion here? I don't know. I think there's a lot of trust in the video essay sphere. Like, you hear all the time that for a lot of people, especially young people, YouTube and Twitter and TikTok are their main sources of information. And I think this highlights how there's no quality control. If he was writing for an outlet...
Well, yeah, that's how all content is, though. You know, and I'll take it more to, like, political slop news, because that's kind of more the sphere that I'm in, but that's how all of it works. Everybody praises independent journalists. And, like, yeah, sure, sometimes it can be a good thing to get a fresh perspective, but there is literally no anything onto these people. They could lie, and it doesn't matter. It's fucking crazy. They can literally just say whatever they want, and they're not held to task on anything, which is a huge problem. That's why I get like Nick Shirley's lying about like everything in their videos is a fucking lie. It's actually insane.
With
I gotta do like a whole thing. Once I'm done putting up my clips from his video, I gotta do like a rundown on it, because there's so many people that they don't even watch the content. They just like they read the headline of his Twitter and go, whoa. Oh, okay. You know, that's all they do.
Credibility to protect, and one of his claims made it to print before he was caught, he'd be fired immediately. Yes, I know mainstream outlets aren't great about accuracy either. I'm not trying to overstate how much they care about it, but in theory, at least, there are methods of accountability. There are editors, there are fact checkers, there are bosses who can fire you, and there's just nothing like that for a YouTuber. No one scrutinizes you for accuracy. They only scrutinize you if you say something offensive to them.
I'm not a journalist, and thank God. But when one makes a video essay, are they not doing so with the implicit promise of accuracy? Like, how would you feel if I told you that that story about Duncan Castner and Sven Johnson was completely fabricated? Or that Sabrina Rios
Dude, did she just own me?
actually hadn't weighed in to defend Sven Johnson? Or that
Damn, did she own me, dude? Is she lying?
fabricated? Or that Sabrina
Damn, imagine this is all fake and she faked that. That'd be impressive, honestly. I would have got fucking trolled. Is this fake?
Rios actually hadn't weighed in to defend Sven Johnson? Or that Gus Johnson and Sabrina Rios had never even dated?
Oh shit, dude. I think that one I'm pretty sure is confirmed true, so I think we're safe.
It'd feel pretty shitty, wouldn't it? Look, I understand that YouTube drama isn't exactly Watergate, but if this is your job, then you need to take it seriously. People's reputations are on the line. Imagine if Stephen A. Smith were reporting on the last football game and he went, "Oh, the Patriots beat the Jets 14-7. And then people said, "Hey, Stephen, that's actually not true. The Jets beat the Patriots 35-21. And then he said, "Who cares? It's just football." I know it's
That's valid though. Football's kind of stupid.
just football, but ESPN is paying you millions of dollars to report on it accurately. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. If you make a video with inaccurate or misleading information and that ends up becoming your most popular video, then you won't learn how to do proper research, and one day you'll end up lying about the wrong person. I think that Gabby Hannah has done enough bad stuff in her life that we don't need to start removing context in order to make her look worse. But more importantly, I will once again argue that your right to not be lied about is inalienable. This is going to be a really big theme in this video. Do you think that someone needs to be personally likable to you before you'll defend them from blatant lies or harassment?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here's the thing. It depends on how bad. Like, defend them from it, I probably wouldn't care, depending on the person. If they're a real piece of shit. That's what it is. I don't know how much of a real piece of shit Gabby Hannah is specifically. I'm not really that interested in it, you know? But like, if Tin Pool had an issue going on, I would not be the first to defend him from disinformation. I'm probably not jumping at the task. So we all have it. We just all have the different levels of like what we consider important. Okay, shit.
Because I don't. Case in point, if any of you ever send any death threats to Duncan Castner, I will show up to your place of residence in the middle of the night.
She said that at the middle of the video. She didn't say it at the beginning, so she actually wants that to be sent to him. It's terrible stuff, guys. I didn't make the rules.
Hinge my jaw like a snake and swallow you whole.
Whoa, H3.
So...
Okay.
Ethan Klein is a big topic right now.
Is he? I feel like he's waning. think it's like a little boring right now, if I'm being honest with you. You know, that's all. It's like, hey, waiting for him to kind of go back to doing stuff other than iDubbbz and Hassan. It's, you know, it's kind of like, okay. I felt bad for him, but now it's like, okay, let's move on. At this point, he's, you know, he won. Let's move on, you know?
Look, you guys saw the first 40 minutes of this video. We all know why I'm here. Ethan and Hila Klein are a married couple who have been creating content on YouTube since 2013, best known for the H3 podcast. Both of them are Jewish, with Hila being from Israel, while Ethan is from California but later became a dual Israeli-American citizen. They are both very pro-Palestine.
The cabinet is run by genocidal maniacs. They're led by Netanyahu, who should resign in disgrace and go to prison for being a war criminal. And they're hellbent on genocide, frankly, overtly. It's fucking barbaric. It's unacceptable. It's disgusting. I've seen videos, you know, I saw videos of Palestinian dads holding his dead, like, 5-year-old daughter. As a father, it's even hard to talk about. This dude was holding his infant. It was like a year old. And he was like patting her on the back and saying like his final goodbye. I mean, he's holding her like she's alive, like he's just burping her or something. I didn't expect to get emotional about that, but like, I'm a new dad and that shit really fucks me up.
But they also...
It's pretty fucked up, man. It's sad stuff. The only thing that's more surprising than that is that I didn't even know Ethan was Jewish. Sorry, guys.
Also recognized the humanity of Israeli civilians and were openly uncomfortable with the way certain people were celebrating October 7th. This led to Klein cutting professional ties with then collaborator Hassan Piker, the leftist Nick Fuentes.
Sure. I mean, that is true. It's a little more complicated than that. Like, obviously, Hassan's audience was like shitting on Ethan. They had Frogan. She insinuated, but it really started because Frogan insinuated that it was completely justifiable. And Ethan thought that was yucky, so he unfollowed her and didn't even say anything about it. And then she got fucking butthurt about it. And then Hassan's audience harassed Ethan. Hassan, despite the fact that he asked other people to monitor their audience, refused to do that. And so he was like, hey, can you, you know, like maybe we time people out in the chat that are being mean and be like, hey, guys, stop. Or we could just do nothing, I guess. That works. So both of those are valid as fuck, am I right? One of those two you could do. All right, so.
Leftist Nick Fuentes.
Whoa, I think Fuentes is probably worse, but that's only because he's a Lolcow, or that Hassan is more of a Lolcow right now.
And my arch nemesis. And to Klein calling out Piker's blatant platforming of terrorism and other irresponsible content in a video entitled Content Nuke, Hassan Piker.
It's a good video.
Since the end of Leftovers,
I loved watching it through Hassan as well, when he watched it for 8 hours, half of it for 8 hours. It was a lot of fun listening to that. It wasn't rambly at all.
Podcast Klein and Piker hosted together, there's been a horrible harassment campaign from the H3 Snark subreddit, a group full of former fans of the podcast who still watch the podcast for some reason, aided and abetted.
You gotta hate watch, baby. Gotta hate watch.
Headed by a basement dweller named George Gonitis, who goes by Bad Empanada online.
George Gonitis? What the fuck?
The lowdown on George Gonitis is that
Gonitis? I thought his name was Bad Empanada. What the fuck?
He once tried to sue someone for defamation, only for their lawyer to write back with an exhaustive list of every single awful thing he's ever said online, ultimately concluding that it is impossible to defame someone with such a horrible reputation. Woof.
Damn, that's rough.
Campaign has resulted in racialized abuse towards Arab members of the H3 crew, ICE being called on an employee who's an immigrant, Child Protective Services being falsely called on the Kleins, and 2 human skulls being sent to their workplace. Gonitis.
It's pretty fucked up, dude. Again, I would have sent it from Party City because they were closing down at the time, so it's kind of a financial blunder. Because didn't they try to get the money, Ethan, to send it back so they can get a refund because it was so expensive for them?
Helped spread the lie that led to the CPS call, claimed to have made the CPS call himself, and is now selling CPS merch.
Wow. Well, at least he's using a black model to end systemic racism. Although, is he from Austria or something? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's real anymore.
Are we the baddies?
A lot of people do not like the Kleins, and they especially do not like Ethan. They find his humor tasteless, or they think that jokes that he made 12 years ago can never be atoned for, and they are allowed to feel that way. However, I will once again argue that you should not have to personally like someone in order to acknowledge that weaponizing child protective services, thus putting further strain on a very overworked and underpaid government office and taking those resources away from a child who really needs them, is unacceptable. End of statement.
True. Yeah, sure.
So I'm about to get a little mean. I know. Hear me out. There is something uniquely insidious to me about a person who is openly callous towards others, but who cannot take the heat when it's directed at them. I was generous enough to write off the bad parts of Harnish's Gabby Hannah video as being due to genuine ignorance or laziness or stupidity, but I was unable to do that here. If Harnish wants to play with the big dogs, then she does not get to complain when they bite her face off.
Madison, you really fucked up by talking shit about Ethan Klein. He's got a lot of loyal supporters. The Klein man, dude. It's crazy. I really fucked up. It's additionally just so funny to me because, again, and I know I reiterate this a lot, but she thought Ethan was such an easy dunk and she's getting absolutely decimated because that was the primary reason she made the video. It has nothing to do with anything else. She doesn't give a fuck about what's going on with Ethan Klein, right? Or like Palestine or any of that stuff, or Israel or anything like that. It's because, hey guys, this is an easy target, and it was just the least easy target ever. And she's just getting dumpstered. I wonder if she had talked about it less, if it would have changed for her too. Like if she just like afterwards, she's like, oh, oops. I don't know. She's put like a permanent target on her back. She's like a little Lolcow now. It's just funny. She really fucking owned herself with that. And she constantly made more and more responses. She really just completely owned herself.
This is someone who has made a career off of demanding accountability from others. If she cannot live up to her own standards, then that is not my problem. However, in the interest of optics...
It's all because of iDubbbz, honestly, if you think about it. Because iDubbbz is the one that, like, revitalized him, if I'm being honest here. Like, you know, we obviously liked Ethan before iDubbbz, but, like... The thing is that like Ethan was getting fucking dumpstered by everybody until iDubbbz decided to speak up, and people were like, wow, I hate iDubbbz so much. You know what? Fuck, I like Ethan now. That's honestly what happened. It was so funny that it happened. He fucking revitalized somebody's career that he didn't like with the fucking hit piece. It was amazing.
My crack team of editors did have to edit out about 2 pages worth of petty insults, so keep that in mind. In October of 2025, Harnish posted The Fall of H3, How Ethan Klein Destroyed His Career, in which she makes some very interesting claims. You have probably heard that Madison's video is dog shit. That is correct.
I didn't even just hear it. I fucking watched it, boy. You know?
I'm not interested in litigating every single thing she got wrong. Several comments.
That would take you a while. I get that. I guess that. You know what? Now that we're at a point where we know the insider info, I can appreciate her not going in depth on it. You know?
Commentators have already reacted to it and picked it apart pretty thoroughly.
Whoa, is that Nicholas Diorio, dude? What the fuck?
Including the Kleins themselves, who had Harnish on their podcast while I was writing this script. If you would like a more detailed breakdown of what
It's an old-ass script. Holy shit.
exactly Madison's video got wrong, I have linked Radabrat's video in the description.
Who? Radagast? The Brown? The fuck?
I'm not a lawyer, so
It's a girl! Maybe. It might be a girl. I don't know how things work anymore. Some people are different, which I respect, by the way. They just call themselves Mandy. No pronouns, so I assume you're a boy. Okay? That's how... I don't make the rules.
Throughout the course...
Did I get mentioned?
Several commentators...
Oh, it's me! I'm playing Ghost of...
have already...
Hold on.
I'm not interested in litigating every single thing she got wrong. Several...
Ghost of Yote, I'm pretty sure. Via Papa Gut. Oh, thank
commentators
you.
have already
Incredible
reacted
stuff.
to it and picked it apart.
Hey, and I'm for... Hey! Listen, let me tell you right now. This is the best video that I have seen this year. Simply because I was referenced before Nicholas Diorio. Okay? For once in my fucking life. It's a beautiful thing. Make that part of the intro. Beautiful stuff.
Pretty thoroughly, including the Kleins themselves, who had Harnish on their podcast while I was writing this script.
Whoa, did Ethan scratch himself? What the fuck?
If you would like a more detailed breakdown of what exactly Madison's video got wrong, I have linked Radabrat's video in
Radagast the Brown.
the description. Throughout the course of her video and subsequent apology, Madison
I wouldn't call it an apology personally. It was a fucking mess.
supplied us with these piping hot takes. Number 1, accusing Ela Klein of calling toddlers terrorists because she said "I mean" in response to an unrelated statement.
Ela, on the other hand,
Well, have you ever seen those iPad kids? I would maybe go as far to call them that. You know what I mean?
has made comments deemed even more insensitive, like calling toddlers terrorists.
Rudy was saying that Palestinians are taught at 2 years old to kill Americans.
And the Palestinians are taught to kill us at 2 years old.
That's pretty spicy.
Yeah.
Do we have that one?
Like,
this one looks pretty bad for Ela, but I know my understanding is it wasn't like processing the information. That's literally it. She just had like a brain fart.
When
She was like, thinking about something else before that. That was it. It wasn't really that big of a deal. Like, I don't think it's unreasonable to just to be like, oh, okay, I believe you. You know what I mean?
They deemed, so she's made comments that were deemed. So that's not me.
Well, isn't that you co-signing that they were deemed? No? What are we all dumb as fuck? I don't understand what you're saying. I'm not stupid. Guys, I'm fucking woke as hell, dude. My brain's all over these dog whistles. I know what you're trying to say, dude.
Saying that she's saying that, it's others have deemed it even more insensitive.
That's great. I love that. I love the zero accountability.
Like calling toddlers terrorists. So I'm not saying that I myself am saying that she's called toddlers terrorists. I'm saying others have deemed so.
just to confirm, she did not say babies are terrorists. Like, do you agree with that, right?
Yes. Yeah. Again,
She sounds like Dax Flame. Did I say that already? Yeah. I don't agree with that. You know.
Again, it seems within the context of
she's just a whole bit. It's like a bit. Dax Flame bit over here, you know?
Clip that she's agreeing with Rudy Giuliani's statements. I'm very glad that you guys have both said you do not agree with those statements.
Again, the words you use in agreement with her is that she said babies are terrorists. Not that
I just wish Cruel World Happy Mom would be like, no, I think you're lying. I think you're lying. I think you're lying. That's it. Just say that. Just say, hey, I think you're lying. Oh, okay. You know what? I think she said that. Fuck you. Just say that. I wish people would just be honest, because then we know where you stand. But instead, you play like this weird little games like, well, actually, it's interesting, and I don't, yeah, it's okay. Just be honest. Just be a fucking asshole, you know? Just fucking own it. I would have been like, you know what? God bless. I respect it. I respect you just being a fucking dickhead. I would. If I thought that, I would just say, no, I think you're lying. I think you're a fucking liar. Then it's better. It's more fun for everyone, you know?
She's agreeing with what Rudy... No, you said someone else said it. I acknowledge that.
Harnish claims that she was not saying that Ela Klein had called toddlers terrorists and that she was merely reporting on what others have said. And I need to put on my grammar police hat and show you all why that's not true. So...
Because she's a liar and she's a woman. No, I'm just kidding. One of those things is true, though. Oh, wait. Both of them are true. Well, maybe not anymore. I don't know. Maybe she's doing a Demi Lovato. Anyway.
Deemed even more insensitive is a relative clause which modifies the word comments, right? She's saying objectively that Ela Klein made comments and those comments were deemed insensitive. Okay? So if you take out...
Well, I don't really need convincing because I know that she's a disingenuous person and she was like just fucking hard riding the fuck out of the accusations against like every single accusation against Ethan and Ela. Like, yeah.
On the other hand, and the relative clause of deemed even more insensitive, you get Ela made comments like calling toddlers terrorists. So she was saying that Ela Klein had called toddlers terrorists. Number 2, accusing the Kleins of fraud when the person...
Well, it's funny because that one does look bad out of context, so I could see her falling for it. I wonder if she just fell for it and felt stupid and she just kind of, she doubled down in her confirmation bias. I wonder if Cruel World Happy Mind was like, and not actively even saying this, but like thinking like, oh, this is the information that was given to me, so I believe it now. And it takes a lot more to get somebody to gravitate away from their confirmation bias. It's very difficult to do. I wonder if she's just that person, which means she's not a particularly critically thinking, capable individual would be the issue there.
And who originally made that accusation has since
What
retracted
the fuck
it.
is this other
Number
thing?
3, implying Ethan Klein was on drugs because he had his leg on a table.
Well, and then she also implying that was him scratching his leg, but that's like a tattoo that his kids drew, you know? So he's like, hey, let me put that on my leg, you know? Some people, and I don't know who said this, is actually pretty fucked up. I heard some people were like, he did it because it's the cheapest tattoo he could get. I think that's terrible. I don't think that's true at all. I don't know why people would say that. But that's what I heard. People said Nicholas Diorio actually said that to me one time because we were DMing on Twitter talking about meeting up, hanging out, going to the Flaming Grill buffet together, having some some all you can eat food, and he said that to me. I was like, that's kind of fucked up, Nick. I don't think that that's true. So,
only to backtrack and pretend that it had actually been a critique of his professionalism.
Dude, where the fuck?
What are you What is it you're showing though? You're zooming in on something.
I actually don't know what it is. It looks like a tattoo. I think I've seen.
People. So why did you zoom in on that?
I'm not gonna.
My editor did it. She doesn't have an editor. Get the fuck out of here.
I work with a team of people, but I'm not going to,
I don't. I'm actually very confused.
talk about their choices and.
Why? Why don't you just be like, yeah, it was a bad choice? I think that they were trying to imply that you're on drugs.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna like.
Well, not really, because it is your project. Ultimately, if it's representing you, I would certainly not want my other collaborators having hidden opinions in there that I didn't approve of, right? Like that doesn't make any sense. So, do you have an opinion?
She's gonna have to fire her imaginary friend editor, Tubby Bunkins. She's gonna have to fire that person. It's crazy. I feel so bad for them.
Opinion about why there's
harsher, bizarre.
Why you're zooming in on my leg here? I'll just play. It's really short.
Has lost all of his marbles. The mullet rolls are gone, people. Hard hitting, man.
So there's a very deliberate effort to zoom in there, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
True. I don't know.
I mean, I guess my main question is why
You like that?
was your leg up when you were?
That happens all the
time. Why is this such a laughable moment? Why is your leg up? Maybe he's got a piss. Maybe he's a dog. It's none of your fucking business.
I do that literally every episode.
It's funny though because that's pretty much the go-to once they don't really have anything on Ethan. Their go-to is like you're unprofessional. You put your leg up. You talk about private things on your podcast. That's very unprofessional. Very unprofessional. Wow, incredible. I don't know. There's other people who will bring on like vaccine deniers uncritically and say that they're like telling the truth. Maybe you should talk about them more.
Okay.
So my leg being up is implying something?
Is it down here?
I mean, is it the most professional? I don't know.
Is that why you included it? But it seems if I can make an assumption, the insinuation here clearly seems to be that I'm on drugs of some kind. I think they're trying to imply that
I'm super professional. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm not playing a game.
I'm on meth or something like that.
It's crazy.
And the edit.
I don't know if that would be the proper insinuation because, to be honest, my team members know that I have a family member who's a meth addict.
Damn, that's crazy.
Who's very close to me, so.
Well, then what is it? I just genuinely don't know what it means. I'm getting more.
I have a family member that's an annoying piece of shit, so I know all about those.
More erratic. People in Snark and in that world calling me, saying that I'm on drugs, which is, again, a really fucked up thing, and excuse my language, to say about a dad of 3. So
I wish that Ethan would just push harder on it and just like stop trying to be kind of nice to these people. Ethan has like a consistent problem of trying to be nice to people that do not like him. It's very strange. I think he has a desire to be liked, but you're just not likable. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like he has to stop doing that. Like you're sitting here like, well, actually, no, she's a fucking like she obviously knows what she was doing. Just be like, I know that's what you were doing. Well, your team didn't do that. And if they did do that, what he should have said is like, oh, I guess your team doesn't respect you, and they think that it's funny that your family member is a drug addict because that's what is explicitly happening here. Oh, I don't think. Well, then you're dumb. Maybe you shouldn't make content. Like if you're not able to think like very basic thoughts, maybe you should stop making content because you obviously don't know what you're doing. But I also think you're lying. So you're like a bad person.
Someone who has Tourette's to insinuate that I'm ever on drugs.
No, I remember in that video she also said that because Ethan has Tourette's, he probably has other comorbidities. Saying he's fucking crazy. He's crazy, dude. It's so fucking hard. It's so Tourette's phobic. No, it's very ableist.
Or that I'm
Bizarre
somehow
and more
acting.
extreme.
Hassan Piker has
You say I'm acting more extreme, and then you show a close up
marbles.
Yeah,
mullet rolls
of
are
me
gone, people.
And it almost looks like someone's trying to say that it's like a scar, like a scratch wound, and I'm just manically kind of grabbing my leg like I'm on some kind of drug. Like that seems to be the obvious insinuation to me.
Number 4, acting like the CPS call could have been made in earnest when there's no evidence for that.
You know,
Oh, that was funny.
as far as who sent CPS over to Ethan Klein, I think a lot of that is conjecture, sorry.
Maybe you could edit that out. That's interesting. Okay.
And I don't think it's appropriate for me to outright state any claim in my video. And
I love that. It's just one of the funniest parts.
that's why I tried to avoid that, you know.
It's funny because like when you 50-50 something that's obviously like 95-5, then you're a lying piece of shit. Like you're fence sitting on something insane like that. It was obviously fake. Saying that there's 5% credibility to this idea that it was a justifiable call is even far too much credit. Is far too much. It's way too much. So it's funny.
To state that Ethan himself sent CPS over through his own statements versus other streamers.
Guys, you think that's supposed to get one of those water tattoos that she put on there, just so that she could look cool? I've never seen it before outside of this. I think it's fake. I think she got one of those press-on tattoos.
Sent CPS over through their own statements. I don't think that's appropriate for me to outright state in a video. That's my personal opinion on that. I have seen, you know, through instances like Ruby Frankie, when people are escalating their behavior and it's getting more and more serious, you are just more like
you had to see about like Ruby Frankie, the one that didn't she's like abuse her kids. That's an incredible comparison to Ethan Klein. We love it.
To gather a group of people who are becoming more concerned for your family, for your children, and for yourself and your own mental state. I'm not trying to say that in a demeaning way towards Ethan Klein, but it is just the reality of the situation. When you share your life online to millions of people, people are going to look at a pattern of behavior over time, and I think it's just a natural state of being for many people.
Isn't that what racists say? They look at a pattern of behavior? Whoa, Madison Harnish, confirmed racist? I don't know. It's interesting.
Especially if you're just naturally a concerned person.
Fuck.
That's my stance on it. You know, whether someone who called CPS...
I'm actually struggling to know.
Came from Ethan and himself and his own statements, someone who knew Ethan personally, or from other streamers and their own statements.
Or maybe the guy who like made up the lie about it, and then the girl who watched it and said, "Is this real? Really? It's seriously?" Maybe it's those people.
Is, I think, really hard to track.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I guess she's right, guys. That is really hard to track. From the
That is really? What the fuck?
County of Los Angeles Department of Children and Family Services. Dear Hila and Ethan Klein, the investigation of the referral above alleging general neglect against Ethan and Hila Klein has concluded. Effective as of date, your investigative referral has been closed by this department. The investigation of child abuse and/or neglect resulted in, and then there's a little check next to, allegations were deemed unfounded with no case opening. Number 5, acting like it's equally plausible that the skulls could have been sent by Ethan Klein.
As far as the skull thing, I think that there is...
This is kind of like that skull thing.
2 possibilities. Yeah. Either someone sent Ethan Klein human skulls.
That's probably what happened, yeah.
And I don't think that's cool. I think that's going too far.
I can't believe you said that. That's fucking that's pretty bold.
Or Ethan Klein himself sent himself human skulls. That
that's incredible.
Is certainly a possibility. And that is...
I guess it's a possibility. The same possibility of me fucking ripping my own penis off and throwing it into like a lion's mouth. So either I did that or a lion bit my penis off. I don't know. Which one do you guys think?
Certainly him not being in a great mental state and taking things way too far online. Either way, again,
fuck again, like you're going halfway between fucking crazy and normal. The normal thing to think would be like, oh yeah, he probably didn't send himself the skulls. The crazy thing to think would be, hey, he sent himself skulls. So you're 50-50 between something that's like zero, like that's one, we'll say 1% and 99%, because I suppose it's always possible. Like, what the fuck?
I don't think it's appropriate for me to...
All right, babe, my skulls came in the mail. I've been waiting for these for so long. I forgot I was on the skulls.com waiting list for like 10 years. I accidentally sent it to myself. Now I remember. It was actually what I wanted. It's actually what I wanted in the first place, dude.
Gather evidence that and essentially present a case unless I think it's a really, really solid case. And I did not feel that there was a really solid case there. It was a lot of statements. It was a lot of that were made online. And
this is the type of person that gets manipulated by like the low IQ ramblings of Donald Trump. Let's just be absolutely clear. Like this is the person. This is your fucking dumb mom. This is your dumb MAGA mom. Yeah. Trump says all the Mexicans are bad people. And you say they're not. So I think maybe, I don't know. Maybe all Mexicans are bad. Like that's what we got here. What? Well, Donald Trump was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein, but he said he not. So maybe both true. I don't understand facts. It's just like, what are you doing? You look like an idiot when you say stuff like that. What's wrong with you?
I just didn't feel like, besides the actual...
Oh, yeah, she would have been an Asmongold fan for sure. For sure, dude. Big Asmongold fish fan.
Well, there were skulls sent. I didn't feel like there was enough there to make a solid statement.
I think her husband is like a Vietnam is some kind of veteran. He probably games the system and steals disability money, just like every other veteran on Caleb Hammer's show. Because they find somebody that's they go and they find they pay somebody. I'm not even kidding. They pay a person to like help them litigate and like say what they like lie to the government to get the maximum disability payout. So it's probably what's going on. That's how she has time to make these horrible dog shit videos, you know?
Or opinion myself. I think that anyone who is going to intensely push one thing or another as far as the human score.
What if it's a poop out my butt?
Ultimately, I'm scared that also kind of detracts from the overall message.
I mean, she's right. There's just no evidence that Ethan didn't send himself this. Good morning. Thank you for reaching out. We can confirm the information below. The order in question was dated March 10th, 2025. The order listed Ethan Klein and H3H3 Productions as the customer with shipping to Los Angeles, California. The order also listed the email address H3H3 at
Sounds like he did it, I guess.
Mail.com. Obviously a fake email address. On April 1st, 2025, Ethan's team contacted us after receiving the shipment, expressing concern and questioning how this could have occurred. Based on the information provided by Ethan's team, we understood that neither Ethan Klein nor TED Entertainment Incorporated had placed this order. The order appears to have been placed with a VPN. The order was placed on
Ethan must have used a VPN.
Under a business purchase order, which would normally have been sent to accounting for review and approval. However, because the next day shipping option was selected, an automation rule allowed the order to bypass normal payment and verification safeguards. No payment was processed.
I didn't know that. All you had to do is do like instant shipping and then it won't actually look at your order or whatever.
This automation issue has since been corrected. We coordinated directly with representatives of TED Entertainment Incorporated to arrange for the return of the skulls, and they were successfully returned to our facility. Wow. Please let me know if you need anything further. Josh V. Moret, Managing Director, Skulls Unlimited.
Damn.
It took me 10 minutes to find those. Granted, it was a little tricky, but it was worth it to,
I don't know. Ethan Klein could have still done it himself. Maybe he made the fake Hotmail. Maybe he got a VPN. Maybe he sent them himself. Maybe he actually has poo-poo everywhere. Maybe he has pee-pee everywhere. Maybe he's actually scratching himself up. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we're at. You know? We've embraced conspiracy. And if that's what you want to do, Madison, be my guest. But you're just a fucking silly little goose. So, I mean, you be silly. Do whatever. Cruel world, silly mind. Am I right? That was very cringe. Take a step back. Take a step back for a moment.
Not spread blatant misinformation.
Yeah, spread misinformation, please. Do you think she used his sponsored VPN? Yeah, you know what? Did Ethan use a VPN he gets sponsored by? Because then that confirms it. Because only Ethan uses that VPN. Smart stuff.
And of course, we can't forget my personal favorite, number 6. Implying that the Kleins are pedophiles because their clothing brand has a teddy bear on it and sometimes features pastels and...
I agree. Anybody who has like stuffed animals of BMO is interesting. I don't know.
Clouds.
Well, in the past, I would certainly commend Ela for having a very creative style. Often some of the
I like the belly out. You know what I mean? Not a bad look.
The outfit ensembles that Hila chooses.
We gotta stop focusing on, we have to stop focusing on girls' boobs and their butts and stuff and hips. Let's go for like more other erogenous zones. Factually, the neck, the belly button, armpits. These are facts. Don't look it up. And I think it's time that we started talking about it more because it's very normal for people to be like, oh, I like that. Right? And I think anybody who says otherwise is just, maybe they're gay or something. And that's nothing wrong with that. I think it's beautiful. But, I think maybe there's more things to consider.
Feels very childlike, with also Teddy Fresh having a little
the forehead. Oh yeah. I like this one. I like this. I like this camping, like emergency camping blanket here.
teddy bear as a logo. I don't know. Maybe it's interesting. Hila dresses kind of childlike with a little teddy bear for her.
I'm gonna be biased. I'm a Disney adult, so like my wife and I, like she's always dressing with Disney stuff. I guess you'd consider that childish.
Fashion brand. I find all of that interesting.
Most importantly, in reference to
you like big gay belly. That's fucking crazy.
a lie that she uncritically platformed, which Girl with a Microphone debunked 6 months ago.
Whoa, not GWAM. That's incredible stuff. Armpits are a fact. Shut the fuck up, dude. You're out of here.
Said this.
That personally causes me to lose all sympathy for the two of them whatsoever.
All sympathy? Wow. Some clothing? Jesus. It's a little catty, don't you think?
She gave the game away. She wasn't trying to be fair. She was trying to make a hit piece. There's been a lot of
Yeah, I think we already do that. Madison's a fucking... Oh, sorry. Crew World... I mean, Madison is easier, but I'm so confused. But she's just nothing going on. Not really a valuable voice amongst the sea of men. Stay away from the seamen, Madison.
Discourse as to whether Harnish is stupid or malicious. And the answer, as indicated above, is both. She's both. Like I said, I'm not interested in litigating every single lie.
Well, I don't think that Madison, Madison I think is like malicious, but also I think it's something interesting, maybe interesting to know, that she doesn't see any of the people she talks about as people. She's online, and I think she's terminally so. And so I don't think that there's anything going on there. I think it's mostly just like, oh, that's not a person. Ethan Klein. And it's all very difficult for her to parse through. I think that's really what it is. That's what she does. Online content.
Bad take or hypocrisy in her video simply because there are way too many to count.
Whoa.
Okay, fine. Twist my arm. We can do one more.
My own point is Ethan and his fans focus on their enemies and their deep want to prove their enemies wrong. And
Whoa, I like it when I typically like to prove my enemies right. It's my favorite thing in the world.
Question is that mentally healthy? Or is it causing Ethan to be mentally unwell, to have such a deep focus on the downfall of his enemies?
Whoa. I mean, I guess sometimes this is the problem, is that she's not a reasonable person. So, you can't really get there's probably something to be said about Ethan focusing a little too much on talking about everything going on around him at this point. I think that he should come back after the new year, and he should just move on from talking about iDubbbz every podcast, move on from talking about Hassan every podcast, and just kind of build his brand back up. I know I say it, people are like, oh no, blah blah blah, whatever. It is what it is. It's just my opinion. I don't know what to tell you. I do, but I'm not somebody who thinks Ethan is a crazy drug addict. That's, I don't know, has GERD. So when she says it, she's just trying to be malicious. I'm saying it because I think that would be more productive. Get that clip game going on there, boy. But that might be a little more productive for you to do than perseverate on the thought that you were portrayed. True, but I think it's time to move on a little bit, buddy. But so Zoran raised the fare for buses in the subways to $3. I know it's off topic, but he promised us free busing. This is sad. There's no way you have to be fucking trolling me right now, dude. Right? You have to be trolling me right now. I think you're trolling me. I think you're trying to troll me and make me upset. Why would you say that? What are you talking about? The bus fare going up $3 3 days after Zoran came in has nothing to do with Zoran Mamdani. He came in under other plans. You think that he can do something about that instantaneously? Just got in office. He was just sworn in at 12 o'clock on fucking January 1st. What do you think he's going to do? You can't reverse every decision that's made instantaneously. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Come on. You're better than that. That's crazy. Okay, chill out. You know, he just got in. So anyway, also people don't care about that. Like that's a conservative talking point that's like flooding Twitter. These people are stupid. I know. I look it up. I already did. I know what you're talking about. That's why I'm saying you're trolling me. It's a conservative. It was him. No, it wasn't, dude. What are you talking about? It wasn't him. It wasn't him. What are you talking about? That wasn't him who did it. Just because it happened under him doesn't mean that it's him. Oh, dude, I'm actually getting so triggered. Stop talking to me. It was the administration before him, dude. What are you talking about? This was actually approved back in September by the MTA board, okay? And it was only $2.90, all right? All right, stop it. Stop fucking trolling me. But what's funny is MAGA doesn't actually care about that because Donald Trump promised to fucking lower prices day one and everything is more expensive. And our growth, we're on a K curve of growth because poor and middle class people can't afford things and they're spending less because they have less money. So like every MAGA person that says that, and I know you're not MAGA, Cosmos, but every MAGA person that like says that, they like literally, they're like, oh, see, he didn't promise, he was just lying. He's lying. Your guy did worse. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you guys don't care. And he keeps blaming everything on Biden, too. He's like, no, actually, that's Biden's economy. It's like, no, it's not. It's your economy. These are your dumbass tariffs, you motherfucker. So I don't know what you're talking about. But don't fall for the misinformation, okay? Next, you're going to be coming in here telling me, hey, guys, there's a video of people in Venezuela that are like, oh, my God, I'm so happy that Trump came in here and just bombed a bunch of shit and took Maduro out of here for oil. That's an AI one, too. That's just crazy. You're sitting next to him. All right, 290 semantics. Dude, you're trolling me. Now you're trolling me, dude. Now you're trolling me. Focus on the 290. Get out of here. You're fucking trolling me. I missed what we were talking about now.
Ethan and his fans focus on their enemies and their deep want to prove their enemies wrong. And the question is that mentally healthy? Or is it causing Ethan to be mentally unwell to have such a deep focus on the downfall of his enemies?
Oh, okay, now I understand. This isn't really comparable because this isn't really Madison having a heavy focus on the downfall of her enemies. She's just like basically just fucking Reddit tier shit posting, like snark posting against these people. That's all she's doing. So it's a little different. Ethan does like talk a lot about like his enemies. In my opinion, to some instances, a little too much. But again, I'm like more productive about it. I don't think Ethan's like a bad guy. I don't dislike him, so. That's a little bit different, I would say. You know, just a little, just a scoosh different. What the fuck? It would actually be a better example to show that like she made like 15,000 responses to the Ethan Klein thing, that she would consistently perseverated on the backlash that she got for her dog shit hit piece. That would have been a better example. In my opinion, that would have been a much better example because it shows that like she can't, like the fundamentals of her argument, of Cruel World Having Mind's argument, is that Ethan doesn't know how to handle backlash and he needs to like let it go and he's like obsessed. But then like what did she do? She tried to make like 15 responses to the same fucking thing over and over and over again. That would have probably been more effective to communicate that point, the overall point. Whoa. Jojo Siwa. Hey girl.
So, Harnish's video immediately started getting a lot of hate, both from H3 fans because, you know, Harnish implied Hila Klein is a pedophile because she wears clothing with clouds on it sometimes, and from snarkers because Harnish had called what's going on in Gaza a conflict rather than a genocide. Just a side note,
yeah, I can't believe she didn't research. I can't believe she didn't research what was going on there before it happened, before she made a video about it. Guys, I don't want to talk about it. It's been 2 years or so, but I don't want to talk about it, which, by the way, is fair if you don't want to talk about it. And then the next video, guys, I'm going to virtue signal about everything I know about Palestine.
There is no pleasing these people.
That I learned in a 5-minute search.
Making a 3-hour hit piece will not save you from snark.
Damn, that's rough. There's no pleasing her? Damn, her husband's got it rough.
Kind of like how overseeing the Great Purges did not save Yates off from being purged himself.
I don't know what that means.
And bless her little heart.
I don't know what that means.
Harnish was not ready to deal with the backlash, leading to this apology video. Madison's response.
Apology. I think it was more of an apology to Bad Empeñada than it was to Ethan.
Responses are what I want to talk about, just because I think that they say.
Isn't that the one where Ethan, or should be Bad Empeñada, like he I'm pretty sure he like pretended to have Ethan Klein's lawyers and like he was gonna sue her or something. It was silly. So she basically made a retraction video.
A lot about her approach to content creation and the way that she feels she deserves to be treated. She revealed that she does not know who Bad Empanada is. She thought it was
Empanada?
Pronounced empanada, implying that she has...
Dude, the MTA needs to stop raising prices. Their fucking people are worthless over there. I'm not even like, fucking being real with you. They just suck. They're fucking lazy, dude. They don't fucking collect their fares. So they're like, oh, we can't collect fares, so we're gonna stand around. The fuck?
Never heard the word empanada said out loud before. I need to tell you exactly what happened because it's...
She's trying to have her iconic Trisha Paytas moment, like quesadilla, empanada, you know?
Really funny and really embarrassing for Madison. So, Gunitis is an infamous troll. He will email...
Oh, right, we're talking about... Just to be clear, we're talking about Bad Empanada at this point.
Just about anybody and threaten to ruin their life or...
Whoa.
To dox them or to expose them for something that they didn't do or to sue them. And
whoa.
He's like a yappy chihuahua, right?
Damn.
He's all bark and no bite. So he emails her because she had included a clip of him spreading the lie that had led to the CPS call. So he emails Harnish. And
How do you know that George isn't hanging out in Ethan's walls though? How do you know it's a lie? Maybe he actually does know, but he can't tell us, you know?
Says, hey, I'm going to sue you for defamation. Here's a list of my lawyers. You should Google.
My bad. I was citing a New York Post article, and they're more conservative leaning. You think that they wouldn't be because the NYC is more liberal outside the city? I would just like make sure, you got to be careful with a lot of these things. A lot of people lie about everything. So even if it's a source you trust, which I understand that you want to fact check it, just to be clear. You know what I mean? It's the people do be lying out here. People do be lying out here. You know, it's terrible stuff. Not me, of course. I'm just perfect, but not everybody can be me. So
Google them. If Harnish liked to do research as much as she claims, she would have realized very, very quickly that Gunitis's lawyers are actually Ethan Klein's lawyers, and that he was just very clearly trolling her. But Little Miss, I like to do research, couldn't even do a simple Google search, so she just had a whole section.
Maybe it's too many words. It wasn't so simple for her. You guys ever think that she has a learning disability? I don't know if that's true, but you never know. Maybe that's why she struggles with research. Maybe she has ADHD, guys. Maybe she's a neurodivergent queen. You don't know. You know what I mean? You guys are just so ableist. You don't even think about these things, but I do because I'm woke. I'm just always thinking. I'm the thinker. People call me sometimes. A lot of people call me the thinker. They say, frankly, they say that I'm the best thinker out there. Sometimes it's actually incredible. Me personally, I'm a humble guy, so I don't think I'm the best. I think maybe I'm one of the top 10. But the best is a little bit of a stretch, I think. You know what I mean? Like one of the best thinkers. You know, it's incredible.
Of her video where she reads out his email and then apologizes to him. Also, Gunitis has been such a consistent villain in this.
Is his name Gunitis or Gingivitis? I'm so confused.
Entire saga that the fact that she didn't know who.
I also think that he's back on. I think that he's back on. What's his name? Hassan's like no list. Hassan's like I will not watch list. Because Ben Empanada will like purity test Hassan, which is crazy. Claiming he's not extreme enough in some instances. It's fucking wild.
Is really embarrassing. Also, let it sink in that George Gunitis, the man who cannot be defamed, got more of an apology than the Kleins did. She also got a lot of flack for saying this.
Building these,
if only she knew that Hassan and him weren't friends anymore, you know?
Israeli values and ideals that have been sort of programmed into him from when he was born. But then...
Wasn't he born in America?
Having to sort of face what was happening in front of his eyes, at times condemning the genocide that was taking place, condemning the Israel government, but having to sort of grapple with that and the beliefs that have been sort of ingrained in him from, early days of his existence.
Which is literally a Nazi talking point. The World Jewish...
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure Ethan was born in, America, so...
Congress says that in the dual loyalty trope, anti-Semites allege that the true allegiance of Jews is to their fellow Jews, and that therefore Jewish people are inherently disloyal citizens and cannot be trusted. In the present day, the dual loyalty trope manifests in suggestions that Jewish people are first and foremost loyal to Israel, even when they insist otherwise.
I mean, listen, if you wanna have like a conversation about it, we can. Israel does a lot to like encourage people with like Israel ancestry to have a level of dual loyalty. That's the whole point. That's why they have birthright citizenship. That's why it's free for you to go over there. Like the whole point is for you to be like, wow, I like this place a lot. For other Jews, like that part is true. But I don't think Madison is having a productive conversation at all about any of this, right? I don't really see why you would disbelieve Ethan when he says that he supports Palestine. I think that Ethan supports Palestine as much as all of us do, where like maybe you donate some money, like maybe you have like a monthly subscription to donate some money to Palestine. And, you know, but that's about the extent of it because you live in America and you're like, yeah, that's pretty terrible. I think it's bad. I think that Netanyahu's a war criminal, but like, you know, there's not much you could do about it. You know what I mean? So I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's like outside the normal, like non-Jewish person's perspective on it in America, at least. Maybe I'm wrong about that. That's what I think what makes it kind of like the worst, you know, pile of dog shit. Why she's like wrong about it. But like, yeah, there is a conversation. There's like an educated conversation to have there. Like, I wouldn't doubt though that she's trying to be anti-Semitic. Cruel world, happy fart. You know, she's just too woke now. You know, she's too woke, anti-Jewish woke.
Do you believe that Israel is committing a genocide in Gaza?
Yes.
Okay, great. Awesome. So you agree with the...
Well, I think Hassan's perspective is that he's just lying because he feels like he has to or something. I'm pretty sure that's what Ethan's... that's his perspective on Ethan in that situation.
With numerous...
I believe I said him say that. No?
Human rights organizations, the UN...
I already said yes. The cabinet is run by genocidal maniacs, okay? They're led by Netanyahu, who should resign in disgrace and go to prison for being a war criminal.
That's so true. You know what's interesting is that somebody once said that Kamala Harris would have been doing the same thing Trump was doing. And I was like, wow, this is so smart. You know, and I didn't know that Kamala Harris would have been talking about giving Netanyahu a pardon for his war crimes. Now, of course, Trump is talking about that. He'll probably do that, but I wonder if we're still doubling down on this idiot talking point that they were the same, that they would have been the same. With Kamala Harris, you would have gotten slow. You would have gotten very slow action, very slow. You could even argue negligible, but Trump is basically co-signing all of the horrific things that Netanyahu is doing. And so I just find it very interesting. I find it interesting. I find that interesting, the perspective here from Hassan. There's just no way that you were that fucking like brain dead. Especially now though. Trump just keeps escalating controversies because he's on the Epstein list and he doesn't want to release the whole thing. People just forgot about that. But because he keeps doing a bunch of controversies.
And they're hellbent on genocide, frankly, overtly.
Piker was literally sitting next to Klein when he said this. I don't know why he felt the need to ask him that question. I mean, I do know why. I just...
Well, his argument is all this like bullshit, like, oh, well, he keeps going after Muslim streamers, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to ask you to clarify, blah, 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 blah. That's it.
Don't understand why. Harnish claims that she was being empathetic to Klein, but she only did so in the sense that she is convinced that he's like a mentally unstable drug addict. So all of her points empathizing with him were like, wow, guys, it must be so hard to have such a severe meth addiction and to be going crazy.
My brother had that too, and it's just so sad for him.
I can't imagine what it's like to be a filthy pill-popping meth addicted.
Whoa, that's crazy. What the fuck?
It's schizo. That sounds so hard. And that perfectly encapsulates my problem with Harnish's approach to content.
Damn.
When she decides that she's going to make a video about Person X, she doesn't reach out to both Person X and people who don't like Person X in order...
Typical white woman, am I right? Is Asmongold correct? No, just kidding. He's not. He's dumb.
In order to get both sides of the story. She reaches out to the president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, and liaison of the We Hate Person X club, and then doesn't bother trying to get Person X's side.
That personally causes me to lose all sympathy for the two of them whatsoever.
Gee, Madison, that sure seems like a sign that you shouldn't have made this video. These responses were also very telling about Harnish's ability to handle criticism. To quote the woman herself, Madison Harnish seemed to live by one very hypocritical rule. Rules for thee, but not for me. She misspelled me, by the way.
Damn. Maybe she's just excited when she said me, so she put 2 E's on it.
She found a way to misspell
rules for thee, but not for me.
A 2-letter word. Orange County online school system's best and brightest, folks.
And we do be having some terrible schools, though. No joke.
I promised I wouldn't get too mean. Anyway.
To be honest, I received after that live mass comments, messages. Sorry, I fucking hate when I get emotional.
You can take a moment. It's okay. It's emotional.
Stop offering her moments, dude. Get the fuck out of here, Ethan. Be mean.
I understand you care about being on the right side of things.
No, she doesn't. Well, she does, actually. What's perceived as the right side, that's it. And she backed the wrong horse, some people would say. Nicholas Ura would say that because, he said some mean things about Hila. I think it's terrible. Me personally, when it comes to Hila, I take the Vosh approach. That's why I find her very attractive. I think that was a backhanded compliment on accident. I just thought it was funny. I was on a string. I think I was on a string on that one.
Right? So I 100%.
Is she working up a tearjerker?
I understand, and I know this is painful.
Amount of people.
Dude, I forgot about this. This is crazy, dude.
Calling me a Nazi.
Wow, it's almost like saying the thing.
Loser. Ethan should have just been like, loser. He gave her like an L7 weenie. You know what I mean? Just blast her with the L7s.
As a Nazi says, will give people that impression. But of course, it wasn't just that. Harnish was subjected to horrible comments like
implying that Ethan and Hila are pedophiles because Ethan made jokes about pedophiles and Hila has a hoodie with Care Bears is so gross. Even in a hit piece like this, have you no shame? Do you not care about the impact your words on people's life?
You ready for a 3 a.m. Ethan story? Dude, get out of here, bro. Ethan's afraid of me, dude. He would never, dude. He would never, bro. He would never fucking do that, dude. I don't give a fuck. Plus, the joke was a little bit funny.
I can't believe anyone can stoop to such lows. Your HD video had so many inaccuracies. It makes me question past videos of yours I've watched, which bums me out. SMH, I'm subbing. Sorry, girl. It's very sad to see you
Damn, I can't believe she had that much Ethan Klein crossover. She should have done a fucking list. She should have done a thing. It's like, hey guys, how many of you like Ethan Klein? I want to make a hit piece on him for monies. What is the vibe right now? What's the vibe right now? Is the vibe that I can talk shit about Ethan Klein or no? Can I do it? Chat, I'm asking you guys, can I talk shit about Ethan Klein or do you guys still like that guy? Am I allowed to make a hit piece about him or what's up?
Fall victims to bias and spread blatant proven in-court lies as if they're facts. I used to be a huge fan and supporter of your videos, but most recent take and making the insinuation that Teddy Fresh, based on no facts whatsoever, is
well, to be honest with you, in True World Happy Mind's defense, if somebody used to be a fan of hers, they're probably incredibly fucking stupid. So who knows if they're even correct based on that alone.
Concerning and made me unfortunately lose a lot of respect for you as a creator. I was a massive fan of yours for years, but your latest video is horribly anti-Semitic. You can be pro-Palestine without shitting on another race. You literally say so many times that you were out of your depth and you don't usually cover politics and you're a massive Hassan fan. Doesn't that tell that maybe you shouldn't have made a video you're ill-equipped to create that would inherently be biased?
This didn't make it into Madison's video, but a couple days after Ethan's content new came out, someone tweeted saying that they'd love to swing Ethan and Hila's kid into an oak tree by their legs over.
That's fucking crazy. What the fuck?
Over and over again.
Whoa.
These comments are...
I didn't know if like True World Happy Mind did something about it. Like that was like her fault or something.
So normal. It's genuinely embarrassing that she thought she was making a point. There was one calling her the C word, but otherwise I'd say they were pretty fair.
Whoa, you can't say that word. Let's see with an A. Cracker.
I feel like I'm going to be repeating this a lot in this video, but Madison, you implied that they were pedophiles and drug addicts because Ethan put his leg on a desk and Hila wears pastels sometimes.
Damn.
You're a mother. You know that accusing a person with 3 small children of being
a mother,
a pedophile and a drug addict is inherently more loaded than accusing a childless person of that. If you honestly think that the CPS call was made by a concerned viewer, you have to...
Actually, I never put these two together. Like her insinuating that they're pedophiles it partially backs this idea that it was justifiable to call CPS. I never really thought about it like that. But I mean, those things do kind of build onto that, no? Those things would build onto it. Huh. Isn't that interesting? Incredible stuff. I never thought about that. That's crazy.
To know how irresponsible it is to give your audience reason to call CPS again. I'm being so serious right now. I truly do not think that it has ever occurred to her how she would feel if someone did that to her. Not once. No, don't cry, apologize. I don't feel bad for you. So I am not personally in the business of accusing others of fake crying. I think that people who have been socialized not to cry that much think that it's the kind of thing you can just kind of turn on and off, but if you cry a lot or even a normal amount, then you probably know that that kind of thing isn't voluntary. And if you've ever cried in public, you definitely know that it's not voluntary. Personally speaking, I think that people accuse others, and in this case influencers, of fake crying because it eases their own emotional discomfort. If you have decided that this person is no longer worthy of your sympathy, then that clashes with the human instinct to feel bad for or comfort a person who's crying. So people tell themselves this really convenient lie in order to make themselves feel better.
I just laugh at people who are crying. That's it. I don't care. Usually. Unless it's my wife, then I get upset.
You're not really crying. You're just pretending to try to manipulate me. So
well, I think that Cruel World Happy Mind is trying to manipulate people. Yes, 100%. I think that some people will get feedback when they cry, and it's feedback that they want, which is people feel bad for them. So they do be crying for that feedback. They're like chasing that feedback. And I think that's what she's decided to do. I think it's completely inauthentic in the sense that it's just like a response, like an attention-seeking response. That's all I think it is.
When Harnish said this,
my initial response is to be very concerned for Ethan's fans. I don't see them as I see Ethan, who is aware of what he's doing. I see them as being genuinely afraid, genuinely feeling like there's anti-Semitism happening.
It told me everything I need to know about her.
My channel, Cruel World Happy Mind, means just that. That in a cruel, unjust world where people treat you unkindly and unfairly, you don't have to lower yourself to their level or let
That's so beautiful, Madison. It's easier to say Madison than Cruel World Happy Mind. Like, what a crazy... I can't even say cruel, apparently. Like, I sound like a fucking idiot talking. Oh my god. Which is very atypical for me. I usually sound incredibly smart. You know what I mean? Like I said, some people say I'm the smartest. I don't think that's true. Maybe top 10. But, yeah, it's crazy.
Their treatment get to you. You can still find ways to be happy, to be kind, to treat others with kindness, even if you don't feel like that's how others have always treated you.
I love that for us, for all of us. You're my new muse. Thank you, Madison.
Nish likes to consider herself a
May Dawson. I think that's what people call her.
Kind person, so saying that she straight up doesn't care that a father of 3 is afraid for his family's safety wouldn't fly. So she had to make up a convenient lie in order to keep believing in her own goodness.
Yeah, I think the most fucked up part about it is at the height of all this, I feel like I could have gotten Ethan to take me and my wife on a Disney vacation for free, but he was so upset because of all the harassment, he didn't want to go outside. And so Madison, really the biggest sin that she ever committed was she justified my lack of a Disney trip, which is kind of fucked up. It's kind of traumatic for me. But I can't get to go on a Disney trip. It's kind of bullshit if I think about it. That's just how I feel.
Not actually afraid of anti-Semitism. He's just pretending because he's a manipulative. One more comment that we need to talk about.
But the reason why I sourced H3 Snark subreddit more often in this video than I source Snark subreddits usually is, to be completely honest, because I knew Ethan hates that.
Fucking Cruel World Happy Meal's so stupid. What the fuck? Which they were having... They were actually doing the whole Happy Meal thing. You remember that with the Disney Happy Meal recently? My wife, I went there and I got a Happy Meal, 2 of them, so I can get my wife the little tchotchkes. They come in 2s. We got 4 of the little tchotchkes, 2 doubles though. For some reason, the exact same pack twice. So that was fucking bullshit.
That subreddit and other Snark pages, and that there's an ongoing litigation. But whenever that's the case, it does spark my curiosity. Why is someone suing a Snark page? What are they afraid of?
Probably people being mean.
It's actually really interesting.
It might be like defamation and stuff like that. Maybe that's what it is. I don't fucking know. I mean, they were like actively engaging in a hate campaign. I feel like the suing of that has like significantly reduced. has significantly reduced people fucking with him. So, you know, that's a good thing.
For Harnish to say this because all of the documents for the subpoena are actually available for
subpoena
free on courtlistener.com.
Damn.
Of course, Harnish did not source any of these documents in her video because Harnish does not know how to read court documents.
Terrible. Me neither. I'd have someone read it to me.
Some say this is because Harnish cannot read past a 3rd grade reading level.
Terrible. I don't think anybody says that. I heard 4th grade, which so it's a little mean that you're lying about her.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that others have deemed it so. On October 20th of this year, as part of a joint declaration in response to a motion to quash the subpoena, Hila and Ethan Klein responded directly to all.
Whoa, she said Hila first. That's a first. Usually people say Ethan and Hila. It's kind of based.
Of the Snark Mods claims and ended it with this. The H3 Snark Mods counterfactual narrative is to paint themselves as victims when they are the victimizers. Due to the repeated abuse, harassment, and falsehoods the H3 Snark Mods have directed at us, our lives are forever changed. We are no longer comfortable appearing in public, not just for our safety, but because we have been repeatedly confronted by complete strangers, claiming we advocate and participate in the genocide of Palestinians. Due to the constant threats we have received, we are both seeking concealed carry permits to defend ourselves and our children.
Damn, bro. Concealed carry permits? I mean, I kind of get it. I respect that. That's crazy, though. Jesus Christ. I feel like they have to do that. I already knew that, though. I heard that before, so I don't know why I'm acting like I'm surprised. I forgot part of it for a second.
Longer do live events out of fear for our safety and the safety of our employees.
See?
Our employees have also
See what you did, Madison? You took away my Disney trip. The fucking California Disney trip. What the fuck? I could not redeem my Disney trip.
Significantly, being constantly accused of working for advocates and participants in genocide, and one being falsely reported to ICE. We have lost many relationships, both personal and professional, due to the false assertions they have spread about us.
True.
Our 3
so
children.
True, Queen. So true. I will say, I just want to be honest with you. I feel like, you know, here's one of the things about, you know, one of the funniest memes about Cruel World Happy Fart is that she keeps responding, and it's like one more response will do it. I will say there's a level of truth to that with Ethan. I think he's on his 700th response to the fact that he's not a Zionist, because he's not. And people are just not going to believe him. And I think it was actually the best move to sue them, to sue people. It completely killed the trajectory of people snarking him in a meaningful capacity. And the next step would be to like rebuild the brand. And that by doing, you do that by not talking about Israel Palestine that much. Or like if you do talk about it lightly in a segment, like it's like, oh, it's just like a 2-second thing that you mention. And then you talk about something that actually like people are interested in and like pumping out short form content. I know I keep saying this, but there is like a level of truth to that. I don't think it's really productive to continuously say you're not, you know, a Zionist. I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying. So I think, you know, maybe he's already doing this 2026. I think they could really get like a nice content pump out there. Probably build their brand in a way where they're not like, it's not centralized around them being Jewish, because that's unfortunately what it is right now. So
children have suffered as well, and not just
one more iTup stream
from the DCFS investigation. We are no longer comfortable taking them on playdates, as our presence would threaten the safety of innocent children and their parents. The H3 Snark Mod's imaginary fears are our daily reality. What are they afraid of? They told us, Madison. They're afraid of their children being orphaned.
Damn.
I'm sorry you got called the C word, Madison. It will happen again.
Damn. Are you gonna slur her up?
In my opinion, Harnish is a cautionary tale into what happens when being nice is more important to you than being good.
Well, part of it is what happens when you're too sensitive online. Right, because Madison snarked Ethan, and then she continuously responded, and like, and then like at that point, you're kind of telling everybody, "Hey, make fun of this person. They will have a very poor response, and it will be funny." Yeah, let's be absolutely fucking real. That's what's really happening to her, you know. So shouldn't have done that, girly pop.
Nice.
Does YouTube give Pop $1 million every time you tell someone to make short form content? Dude, I'm not talking about just YouTube Shorts. Get the fuck out of here. Shut up, dude. I don't care, okay? I'm a little cringe, but like my advice is factually correct. So it doesn't matter if I'm cringe. It's right. I'm correct, okay? I'm correct, bro. Okay? Get the fuck out of here.
You're not good. You're not bad. You're just nice.
A nice person will cluck sympathetically when your car breaks down. A good person will actually help you fix your car. Now,
the best person will give you a cigarette while you wait. You know what I'm saying?
I do not think
cigarettes are bad. Okay.
that niceness is bad, but niceness and goodness should not be mistaken for one another, and niceness should not be prioritized above goodness. Confusing niceness with goodness leads you to treat politeness and pleasantries as the be-all end-all of people's character, and to judge people by their words rather than their actions. This is why some in the H3 fandom were so quick to forgive Harnish. She was polite when she went on the podcast. She didn't yell or curse at the Kleins or call them slurs, and that caused people to overlook that she never actually...
She should have, honestly. She would have been so much more based if she had just doubled down and been like a not obnoxious fuck about it, you know? Oh, fuck.
Apologized.
Fuck,
when being nice is more important than being good, you care more about how someone says something than what
Yep, Camel Crush, baby.
they're actually saying. And this ethos is all over...
What the fuck, dude? Pick a look. Pick a look. You know what they say? From a media perspective, every time you get a new haircut, you get a significant character change. So that's confirmed. Does Madison have bipolar? I didn't say that. Some media literate individuals that I don't read. I don't know, but I don't even know what the word media means. Right? I'm just like, it's me. Yeah. You know, I don't even get it.
Over Harnish's work. In her videos, she's soft-spoken. She doesn't curse. She feigns concern for the victims of the people she covers.
Damn.
Remember how offended she got over how, quote-unquote, aggressive Gabby Hannah was about people saying she'd exploited a murdered child? Yeah, I know people are accusing you of something disgusting, Gabby, but you need to be less angry. You're acting hysterical. To Harnish, the problem...
They used to diagnose girls with hystericals back in the day to put them on medication so that they would stop bothering their husbands when they came home from work. Isn't that fucking terrible, dude? That's horrible, because then they couldn't take care of their kids. And the husband had to do it, but he wouldn't do it. So the husband would just drink alcohol like he usually does and beat his wife. And that had nothing to do with why she was hysterical, of course. Isn't that crazy?
Isn't with what the T channels did to Hannah. It's with the fact that Hannah had the nerve to raise her voice in response. Of course Harnish was polite to the Kleins when she went on their podcast. She doesn't have the backbone not to be. Calling someone a pedophilic genocide supporter is easy when they can't answer you back.
Also, it doesn't really make sense that you would be a pedophilic genocide supporter, because most of the people that are getting genocided in Gaza are young people, and you just think that he'd want them for himself, right? Like, I'm not saying that that's true. I'm just saying, like, this logically doesn't make any sense when you think about it like that. I'm just saying, I'm thinking out loud a little bit there, but I don't know.
It to their face is hard. Ooh. It might cause you to have to reflect on your actions or even on your character as a whole, and you can't do that. You don't need to. You're a good person. Right? Right? Many commentary...
Hey, it's Louis McClung! Woo! It's interesting, you know, that there's a song for him. It's called Louie, 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 Louie. Louie, 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 Louie. You ever heard this song? Louie, 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 Louie. Not consensually show me your dick. It's an actual song, guys, and it's not bad. Somebody, if you think about it, isn't that incredible?
YouTubers have a very unforgiving view of people's scandals. Their words and behavior reflect a standpoint of...
That was a lot to commit to for that bit, huh? But I think the cringe paid off.
There are good people who only...
If you get the joke, I guess, the cringe paid off. Oh, shit.
Do good things, and there are bad people who only do bad things, and never the twain shall meet. A good person can become bad, but a bad person cannot become good. Damn. This is problematic for two reasons. Number one, if your perception of yourself as a good person relies on the idea that you've never done anything bad before...
How did I ruin it? Louis C.K. showed us non-consensually jack off in front of girls. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he's doing. I made it better. What are you talking about?
Then it means that you're less likely to own up to your mistakes, because in your mind, acknowledging that you did something bad would mean that you're bad. Good people can't do bad things. This is a very large part of why I suspect that Duncan Castner will never apologize for what he did to Sven Johnson. Admitting that he did something wrong simply wouldn't gel with his self-image. Secondly, like I touched on before, it creates an us versus them category regarding the people you critique. You start to see them as different from you. Less than. Why try to understand them? That could never...
A different color. Which is beautiful.
...be you. Anything a good person does to a bad person is justified. Lying about people isn't wrong. Lying about someone who doesn't deserve it is wrong. And the thought that no one deserves to be lied about never even occurs to you. Remember what I said about the mindset that kindness is earned rather than owed? Well, when you combine that with the belief that good people and bad people are fundamentally ontologically different, and that goodness is an achievement, someone with this mindset will inevitably believe that they have uniquely earned the right to others' kindness, and will thus hold themselves in much higher regard than the rest of us peasants. And so they inevitably will judge other people's sins more harshly than they judge their own. Harnish's demand for empathy while showing none for the Kleins implies that she genuinely believes that she is entitled to a greater level of care and consideration simply because she is a good person and they are bad people.
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing. You know, ready for my commentary? I gotta get back to it. I can't just sit here and listen. I don't think that Madison understands the way that like slot politics is working, and this is relevant, and I'll explain to you in a second. But the reason is because right now there is, I think, well, part of it is that there's a big response from the Trump administration, who literally is just lying. Like, that's all Trump does. He just literally lies and hopes you believe it. He says it so much that you think it's true, and that is a tactic that like people in the slot political sphere do, because like Trump has made everything slop politics, like slop drama politics, basically. And this is a tactic I think that a lot of people were using for a long time, also in like the I guess that political sphere. But like, you have to understand that, and like, I don't think that she was ready to like, understand how that works. And but these people consistently double down when they say a lie over and over again. They keep the lie up. They don't care if they get like backlash, like, oh no, you're actually lying. They don't care if they get proven wrong. They just keep it up. And Madison didn't understand that like part of the game was you're gonna lie, and then you have to like actually deal with the backlash of that lie. Because usually she's in the sphere that's like, yeah, we're gonna lie, but we're just not gonna care, like, you know, everybody's just gonna believe it because they don't give a fuck about the people that we're talking about. And I don't think that she understood that separation there at all.
Kleins were extremely patient with Harnish when they had her on their podcast, but that did not seem to have an effect on her. And why should it have? In her mind, she is a good person and is thus entitled to their kindness, while they are bad people and are thus not entitled to hers. This level of dehumanization is really frustrating.
What do you think that Madison would say about the Rizzler if she thought he was Zionist or Jewish? Do you think that she would be really mean to the Rizzler? In this scenario, by the way, Madison would be rude to the Rizzler, so that's kind of fucked up.
Because there is nothing that you can do to stop it. Being nice to them doesn't make an impression because they think that they're entitled to it no matter what, and being mean back just confirms what they already thought about you. Ethan Klein has recently pursued litigation against fellow creators for copyright infringement. In my opinion, the defendants did it gleefully, and Klein was well within his right to sue. Yet
yeah, I think so too.
Popular narrative is that he's bullying smaller creators.
Yeah, probably. Maybe. I don't know if I say bullying, but I mean, he's justified it. I mean, I don't care. I guess he wouldn't consider bullying because it's, in my opinion, justified. But okay.
People have a right to do or say whatever they want to Klein, but he does not have a right to respond.
Yeah, personally, I think it's disgusting that Ethan doesn't treat women as less than, and he sees them as equal, so he's willing to sue them. I think that's disgusting. I think he should hold women to a lower standard and not sue them when they do defamatory things or actively maliciously steal his content or explicitly state the reason for their reaction to take the content. You know, I think that's terrible. You should let them go.
Alexandra Saber can sue Klein, but he is not allowed to sue her. Neither of the Kleins are people. They are punching bags. Punching bags have no right to hit back. There's been speculation about the Kleins suing Harnish for defamation, and I can't comment on how valid their case is. But I do know that if they end up suing...
He's going after NVIDIA and ByteDance. Yeah, I watched a video on that. It's interesting. For like, you know, like, I guess scrubbing through their stuff, like using it for AI training models. Nothing's going to happen of it, unfortunately. They might pay Ethan, be like, oh, here's like $1 billion or something. It's a class action lawsuit. Because they're not going to be held to a particular high standard. And they're like I want to say that NVIDIA is $1 trillion company. I could be wrong, but they are worth a considerable amount of money. And so they'll be like, oh, we'll settle. They don't care. They have like free license to do whatever they want right now. AI research is going unchecked. You know, that's why they're pulling on municipal water sources that are like potentially taking it away from town infrastructures that don't have enough water. And they're like raising the prices of fucking GPUs and stuff because there's like such a high demand for them that I suppose there's a shortage in some capacity. Like, so because they don't really care. The government doesn't care. Trump's not going to give a fuck. they want to be the first to invest. So they're not going to really do too much about it, unfortunately.
Doing her, Harnish will act like she's being unfairly persecuted and will take no responsibility for anything she said in her video. The idea that she should have fact-checked, the idea that the Kleins have a right to pursue damages from those who lie about them will never occur to her. To quote Guillermo del Toro, "The miracle is not that I should speak, but that you would ever listen." Meanwhile, the people of Palestine still suffer. The energy and time that could be spent towards the causes that these people claim to care so much about instead gets wasted watching.
Well, she obviously doesn't give a fuck about what's going on over there, you know? She obviously doesn't give a shit about what's going on there. So, she didn't even know anything about it until like fucking like a month, like 2 years later. She didn't even like look into it. Which again is fine, but you can't virtue signal and then you can't be the virtue signal person and then not do any research about the thing you're supposed to be virtue signaling about. And by the way, I'm not saying everybody's advocation for Palestine is a virtue signal. I'm just saying that, you know, hers is. That's all I'm saying, dude.
In 12 hours of a podcast they don't even like. No Gazans' lives have been made any better by any of this.
Well, part of it's that like Twitter is just completely unrelenting when it comes to your ability to pump out content. And especially other people's content. So they're going on like Twitter and probably Reddit too. I don't really know how the Reddit financial infrastructure works. And they're just like pumping out shit. Then they're like, Ethan Klein clip, Ethan Klein clip, Ethan Klein clip. And they're just making money on there.
It's not about helping. It's about feeling like you're helping. No, it's actually about looking like you're helping. Signaling your own virtue to others to get approval and views.
Jesus.
So, can anything be done? Nick Green. This is my last detour.
Whoa, Nick again. I like Nick.
Or I promise. Nick Green, who publicly goes by Nick is not Green.
That was smart, saying Nick Green. I'm going to start doing that because when I say Nick, Nicholas is not green. My Long Island comes out and I sound like maybe I'm saying a word I shouldn't be saying. So
started to gain online fame in 2021 by making fun of various internet trends, eventually finding a niche focusing on alpha males and misogynists. Slowly, he started to transition into more general content discussing internet trends and online drama, although he still did make it a point to make fun of, as he calls them, weird guys. So my relationship with Nick is not green is a little bit weird because...
Damn, you know what would have been cool though if Nick didn't go away and we got another Ethan Klein virtue signal from him too, you know what I mean? I feel like he would have done it if not for the super mega stuff, so that could have been great, man. We lost a potential Lolcow and we gained a self-aware king, you know what I'm saying?
For reasons that you're about to find out, Nick is not green is someone who has a lot of former fans. Most people stopped being fans of his because he said or did something that offended them, but that was not the case with me. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to do it in 2 takes. Fuck you, we'll do it live.
Oh,
I had found his...
Is this live? Whoa. Oh shit, there's iDubbbz versus Ethan's tape.
The never-ending feud between iDubbbz and...
Alright, stop. We might cover that. Anyway, hold on, sorry. What am I doing right now? Well, Nick is posting a little bit. He's posted like 3 weeks ago. A month ago. His views aren't even that bad. This one did pretty bad, but these ones are doing decently. I feel like he could probably do something decent. Oh, wait, is he just reacting?
Okay, let's play a little game. I'm going to show you this clip of Joe just undeniable saying this song.
Interesting. That's not a bad idea. That's the way of the future, guys. Low effort reactions. Whoa, scary.
Content during the pandemic, and while I had found it enjoyable at first, I eventually just became uninterested. Not to be all, oh, I was too woke for him, but... At that point, I had been pretty politically active and aware for about 8 or 9 years, and a lot of his criticisms just felt very superficial. I just don't find a video where a guy goes, that's misogynistic, and that's bad because misogyny is bad, to be all that interesting. So eventually I just kind of...
That's why I'd be like, a Papa Gus fans be like, misogyny is good. You know what I'm saying? Do that.
Quietly unsubscribed. I think Green had noble...
Well, I think that there's, I mean, listen, there's obviously misogyny is bad, but I think that in some instances, maybe people are tired of hearing that misogyny is bad from somebody who looks like they would say that, right? You know, although I guess I look like a Redditor when I sit down. So I look like I would defend women too. But in real life, I actually look like I would beat women. So I kind of have that going for me. So I think that was a good choice of words.
Beginnings. His content felt similar in spirit to Gonzalez, Gooden, Coe, and Burback, but was more explicitly and intentionally political, which meant that he was able to draw on the aesthetics of these other creators in order to bring people in, but was still easily able to differentiate himself from other imitators. I also think that his content did have value for a lot of young people who might have previously not cared about discrimination, but who came to care about it through watching his videos. But in my opinion, the problems with the commentary mindset that I mentioned before eventually turned him into this cruel, self-righteous bully. As his channel grew, Green started rubbing shoulders with a lot of the aforementioned creators, making his rise a little more difficult to
Bro, stop making fun of me for looking like a Redditor. I'll cry, okay? I will cry right now for sympathy.
ignore. And I started hearing in certain circles about certain takes he'd had that had left a bad taste in people's mouths and about how he hadn't reacted super well to criticism of him.
Damn, he was hanging out with Hassan Parker? See, I was right. He would have done it. He would have done it.
Is that you? Most infamously, there'd been a video with a woman on TikTok who had shared a self-admittedly cringy joke that she had with her husband, only to be met with rape threats and people hoping her husband would assault her. The woman
What the fuck? What the hell is that? That's crazy.
posted a video of herself crying over the comments, saying she didn't mind the good-natured jokes, but felt that the threats and wishes of violence had gone too far.
You know what? I think that might be valid. Might be a little valid. Jesus Christ.
Green laughed at this video and did not seem to empathize with her at all, which understandably rubbed many in his audience the wrong way, especially given his self-proclaimed status as a supporter of women. And
Damn.
I don't know.
Cringe? Who supports women, dude? Boo! I support my wife with my wiener. Get it? Because it's like a support structure. It's like an engineering thing. You know, if you're an engineer, you'd understand it. But if you're not an engineer, you might not understand the joke, and it might be not for you. You know. I think that's just something to keep in mind.
Oh, Green was fascinating to me because it felt like these controversies kept piling up, and yet he was still very widely liked because he was so closely associated with the other commentary channels I mentioned. What the fuck are you doing here? And whether because I'd once been a fan or because very few other people seemed to dislike him for the same reasons I did, I kept an eye on his controversies. And soon, a picture started to form. It became abundantly clear to me that he just liked insulting people and had realized that he'd get less pushback by picking on people who sucked. Nick Green was, to me...
yeah, just like Cruel World Happy Mind does. Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. Oh, you fucking kidding me, dude? He waited for me to do that? Damn. Yeah, Cruel World Happy Mind does the exact same thing. You just feel justified in picking on certain people. And like, we all do it. Like, I'll be rude about people. Like, I guess Asmongold and Hassan Parker. Right, the duality of man. Am I right, guys? But sounds like maybe he's not picking his targets very well.
The physical embodiment of everything wrong with commentary YouTube, and by extension, social media in general. True story. A lot of the observations that I've made about the commentary mindset are ones that I came up with 2 years ago while observing the drama that I'm about to tell you about unfold. On July 27th, 2023, Lex Updog Wright uploaded a video wherein she alleged that while working with Matt Watson and Ryan McGee, who are the creators of a channel called Super Mega, she had been assaulted by one of their employees. Wright alleged that Watson and McGee had not done enough to...
Yeah, this whole story is like fucking bullshit, pretty much. I mean, she might have been sexually assaulted, that part, but it's hard to believe her because the rest of it was a lie, and she focused most of her, like, alleged sexual assault story around hating Super Mega because they didn't come out with her story because she didn't want them to, and she let them live with her for free for too long, which reduced her motivation to want to leave. And then she would go on vacation and do porn, and they're like, we kind of need you to move out soon, please. And they offered to pay her for like a first month's rent, and she was like, that's abusive or something. And she lied about how they wouldn't give her stuff back. She's like, they won't let me come back and get my stuff. And then she literally showed the proof that they would in the literal video that she made. It's pretty messy.
Address the assault and that they had made her feel unsupported. Then she made a bunch of other unrelated allegations, like that Watson had cheated on his girlfriend and that they joked about their friend's suicide.
Which is like kind of valid to joke about your own friend's suicide. It's a tough situation. You're not gonna really virtue signal about the way that you want to fucking grieve your friend, you know? So
People came forward with allegations that the duo had treated them badly. Green, who was friends with Wright, covered all of these allegations on his channel. If you couldn't tell by the fact that his video had been titled Super Mega is Full of Horrible People, he was not particularly interested in hearing Watson's or McGee's side, and seemed almost giddy that the two were being cancelled. Watson and McGee's responses caused many to come to the conclusion that this situation should have been kept private, and that a lot of minor disagreements had been blown out of proportion. Watson and McGee also shared that their friend's suicide had been deeply traumatic for them, and that they felt it had been inappropriate for their accusers to bring this up when it hadn't been relevant to the allegations, a sentiment with which many people agreed. Green made four responses. In all of them, he kind of sort of half apologized while also claiming that he was being criticized by fans of Super Mega. It's been 2 years and I still couldn't tell you which one is Watson and which one is McGee, and that they were trying to accuse him.
Oh, just look it up, dude. What the fuck?
Of being part of a conspiracy to take them down. Understandably, none of these responses were received well. I was expecting him to just keep doubling down forever, to continue on the way that he had with his other controversies. But then, Green actually managed to surprise me. On January 11th, 2024, Green uploaded, "I make harmful content. That needs to change," wherein he took accountability for his actions. It was actually a really good apology, although the comments do not reflect that.
No, they tore him up alive. I think he could probably come back, though. I think he's, like, in a good spot. And people would probably be like, oh, okay, you know, enough time has passed. I think for him, it's more of like, he still has, like, a level of self-conscious, like, I guess, he's a little self-conscious about his content more than anything else. And that's kind of his, like, stopgap there.
And I understand why. I mean, it was his 5th attempt. The problem with apologies is that they're really only 25% of the solution. The real solution is whether or not your behavior changes afterwards. And none of us can see into the future, so when someone apologizes to you, there's no way of knowing in the moment whether or not their behavior is genuinely going to change. I understand that given how judgmental Green had been in the past, many of his critics felt a certain amount of schadenfreude over the fact that he was now in
Like, what does that mean? Poopy? The fuck?
In the same situation, and that they were not feeling particularly merciful when someone who had refused to accept so many apologies in the past was now being forced to apologize himself. They were certainly justified in the way that they responded, but I will argue that sometimes being kind is more important than being just. Only sometimes. After making a few more videos, Green took a break and then in July of 2025 made a comeback with Haunted by My Digital Footprint, in which he goes into more depth about his entire history on YouTube, his evolution as a creator, how his relationship with his job had impacted him personally, and how this had all led to his mishandling of the Super Mega situation. And I'm proud to report that many of my observations about the commentary mindset and its effect on the psyche were actually pretty spot on.
Starting beef with random people made me feel powerful, especially when you have a bunch of people watching your videos telling you that you're right all the time. And it made me feel really tense, and it wasn't really fun, but it did feel good when I slammed these guys online.
So it was fun, you know what I mean? Felt fun, dude. What the hell?
And in front of everybody. And I guess I really liked shitting on men who weren't really as morally like good as I was, right? And even though these videos promoted like overall good,
well, I don't think that was a big deal. Like, you're making fun of, I mean, if you're making fun of Manosphere guys, I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is like once that kind of runs dry, the well of Manosphere content runs dry, you're like, what do I do next? And you kind of try, again, you try to find people that can fit that niche of like, oh, that's cringe and here's why. And then maybe you have some less than stellar takes on it. Right? I think that's the bigger issue there, more than anything else.
Good values, they still were pretty mean-spirited, and they took a lot of the fun away from the normal commentary that I was making on my channels. In this video, I relentlessly went after these YouTubers, and I made a lot of mean jokes that were really in bad taste given how serious the allegations were. I made a follow-up video covering what these YouTubers said to defend themselves, and I didn't give them any grace at all.
I guess he's specifically talking about Super Mega, not like fucking Manosphere people that he's talking about. So
any sort of credit or truth that I was giving to these guys meant that I was turning my back on a close friend of mine, and so I was not willing to publicly give any credit to the enemy. This whole controversy was way too personal for me to cover in a fair way, and I made sure that everyone knew what the correct side to be on was. It felt like everywhere I went on the internet, I saw people hating me. And as someone who had pretty much put all of his self-worth into his online presence the past 3 years, this pretty much broke me harder than anything that I had experienced in my life so far. It felt very humiliating, and it felt so public and inescapable to me. And ironically, this was pretty much what I was trying to do to the YouTubers that I made that video about in the first place, and now it was happening to me. And the hardest part was that there was nobody else to put blame on besides myself. I felt so unbelievably bad about what I did, but like, did it even matter? At this point, did I only feel bad because I had to face the consequences for what I did? I mean, I don't think
That's certainly a contributing factor. It'll probably make it difficult for people to like differentiate between you genuinely feeling bad, like you made a mistake, and like you just responding to backlash and saying, "Oh no, that's not it." But I think it's pretty obvious that he felt bad. He feels bad. I think his responses were genuine. It's just a slow burn back, and then after you have something like that's like confidence crushing, especially if it kind of, I guess you could say, ruptures something that's very something that will generally rupture, we'll say, kind of something that may be a little bit core or integral to your brand. And like being mean is very core and integral to your brand, you know, which I think it was for some of his commentary. It's going to make it difficult for you to make commentary again and feel like it's right. And then you're going to second guess yourself. And is this mean? Am I being too mean? What is it too much mean? Because like, and what is not enough mean? I mean, sometimes it's fun to be a little mean. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Some people deserve it. So it kind of just shakes your confidence to its core, and this makes it difficult to come back.
I would have felt the way that I do about this now if I didn't lose everything.
So why am I talking about this? Well, 2 years ago, Green probably would have been the centerpiece of this video. I mean, he had everything I just talked about: the hypocrisy, the moral grandstanding, the dehumanization of his opponents, the privileging of his own feelings. I truly did not think that he had the capability to self-reflect or change. Now, some 2 years later, he seems to have stuck to his promise. His videos now mostly center on talking about books or movies or TV shows, and they seem to have a lot more effort behind them.
That sounds fun. You know, it's obviously you're going to have to generate like a new crowd for them to enjoy that, though.
Trying to say is that the self-righteous, hypocritical commentary mindset is a very seductive one, and we all need to be careful that we don't fall prey to it. So, I have a bit of an embarrassing confession to make. After the Duncan Castner Sven Johnson drama of 2021, I was pretty mad. Not mad enough to, like, start a snark subreddit or anything, but definitely mad enough that I vented about it to my sister.
Oh shit, you told your sister about terminally online slop? What the hell are you doing? Rule number 1, don't tell people. Don't tell people about that.
I was just so put off by the fact that someone who'd made a point of trying to approach subjects with empathy could respond so callously, and that someone who'd made a big song and dance about how important it was to support Rios didn't include her statements in his video, or update his community post to say that she'd commented, or even pin a comment
Not even the low-effort community post. Shaking my fucking head.
People know that she'd said she and Sven Johnson were fine. And then, when I saw that tweet, it added a whole new level to my disdain. In my head, I made Castner out to be this performative feminist, someone more interested in appearing like he supports women than in actually supporting them. I thought he was the living embodiment of the worst parts of YouTube. Polite and pleasant, but with no real principles. Demanding the world handle him with kid gloves while never considering treating others with even a fraction of the same courtesy.
Interesting video. She really seems to not like Duncan. And it seems pretty valid, just to be absolutely clear. So I get it. But at the same time, it's just kind of interesting how this video manifested itself. Where it started with Duncan shitting on him. Valid. Then it kind of shifted to Ethan Klein. Then it shifted to me getting really angry at the game. And now we're back to Duncan.
Even long after I stopped actively being mad, I still thought he was a smug, disingenuous nice guy. While doing research for this script, I went back and watched Castner's 2 videos about the Gus Johnson situation. If I were Harnish, I would have just asked for a recap from the admins of Duncan Castner's awarcriminal.gov, but I'm not, so I didn't. Even though I have my obvious problems with his first video, I was taken aback by how good it was otherwise. He talked about how others were pressuring Gus Johnson's former associates to speak out, and he expressed his opinion that this was unfair and that we as the audience were not owed closure, while also empathizing with why certain audiences felt this way. It didn't make me want to watch any of his recent content, but it did remind me that, at his core, he's still a person, if a deeply flawed one. Are any of—
Yeah, no, he seems too cringe. I saw the whole fucking I saw the whole Ethan Klein hit piece was too much for me. I don't know. Maybe she didn't see that hit piece that he made. It was weird. I remember for whatever reason, like I was playing one of the Kingdom Hearts games. Is it Birth by Sleep, the one where you play as 3 different people? Is that fucking crazy?
Is my previous judgments of Castner true? It doesn't matter. I have found that when critiquing someone, trying to put a label on them like bad or good can be a little bit distracting. It's more productive to just say, you did a bad thing. If you say you're a bad person, that person might become defensive and say, no, I'm not, and be unwilling to listen to criticism. It also makes other people defensive.
You're thinking I want people to actually, you're thinking I want those people to think, look at my criticism and take it in. You know what I mean? No, sometimes I do, but sometimes people do be bad peeps.
And then they start going too easy on them and whitewashing what they did. Focusing on someone's actions rather than
Charlie Kirk, what the fuck?
Their character is a far more effective means of critique because you're focusing on facts rather than opinions. Except when it comes to Hassan Piker, he just sucks. Is Castner a bad person? That doesn't matter. He did something harmful and irresponsible, and my hope is that he will ultimately reflect, apologize, and not do it again. Yeah.
I mean, did he stop doing it again? I don't know. That's not a shit Kingdom Hearts game, and frankly, it was one of the most enjoyable ones. It had its quirks, but you know, I am My Hero fan.
Yes, it would be weird to apologize for something 4 years after.
Call him Parker, lady. What the hell?
The fact, but so was making the allegation in the first place, so wouldn't be too out of character. Is Harnish a monster? I don't know, but she is a grown woman who's been doing this for a really long time, and the fact that she felt comfortable putting out...
It was like 5 years.
This video is really, really concerning. She said some really damaging, potentially defamatory things, and when confronted, she doubled down, did not apologize, and still expected the sympathy that she has openly said she does not have for the Kleins. I can't speak to what's inside of her heart, but her words and actions make me not want to engage with her as a person or as a content creator. It's really, really easy to forget that the people you talk about are people. When you're being fed a constant stream of content that zooms in on their worst moments, that person can become a monster to you. Not even human. Not even deserving of the same grace that you hope others would show you. And when your bottom line often depends on focusing on the worst of the worst, it creates even more of an incentive not to look inward. Keep making commentary videos. They're an important part of the YouTube ecosystem.
Absolutely, especially you, Madison, because it's funny to react to them and then make fun of you, so... Would really appreciate it if you'd continue, you know?
But please, for the love of God, be better than this. Remember that audiences are not obligated to coddle you when you make harsh videos about other people, and that if you're going to be in the business of making harsh videos, you damn well better practice some journalistic ethics. And remember that you don't get to be upset when you get a sliver of the same criticism you've been dishing out for years. Don't swing a bat at a hornet's nest if you're allergic to stings.
You got what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to put it in a bag. No, don't do that. What you're supposed to do is you put powder in it so that they all the bees fly back or whatever. And then they go through the powder and then they turn into powder boys and they die slowly. That's the idea, you know, because it's not, there's ones that are still kind of rummaging around or exploring. So
in conclusion, God help anyone who forces me to defend Gabby Hannah.
Whoa, forgot we did Gabby Hannah. This video was quite comprehensive. A lot of different, you know, at the end of the day, a lot of different themes, maybe not themes, but a lot of different topics being talked about here. But I think it wrapped itself together pretty nice in the end. I was a little confused at first. with some of it because I don't know what the fuck's going on with Gabby Hannah. I'm not the big Hanster. I'm not a big Hannister. I don't know what people call Gabby Hannah. Not a big hammy hammer consumer, so I don't know the lore. But once I caught on, I was like, "Oh, I know this. That makes sense. I don't need all the back context. So incredible stuff. Gotta love it."